That might have been like one of my longest episodes.
I love to hear it.
Yo,
I love to hear. Oh, okay.
No, you're good, bro. Listen.
Oh.
You're good. What's up, guys? DPS Podcast, episode 71. 71. I made it through 71 episodes with my best friend, Slow-Mo Backslap. Unfortunately, he doesn't go by Slow-Mo Backslap anymore on Twitter. He goes by some terrible game that Amazon, I heard, created. But we'll talk about that later. But yeah.
Wrong.
Yes, episode 71.
Wrong across the board. Go ahead.
Episode 71's here. First, I would like to welcome my co-host, the amazing Slow-Mo Backslap. What is going on with you, sir?
What's up, Forte? What's up, chat? How y'all doing? I got so much energy right now. You have no idea. I just drank a Red Bull. It like literally 10 minutes ago, I could have died. I could have passed out. I could have completely missed the show. Woke up at 3 a.m. But I got this Red Bull in me. I'm ready to do these topics. I'm ready to do it. Let's go.
Yo, that sounds like a dude that literally mixed his Red Bull with some G Fuel. That's what it is. Literally.
Did I? No. It's just Red Bull. It's just Red Bull.
It's just Red Bull straight up. Like
it's just Red Bull straight up.
Sugar free or sugar?
I mean, look, I hold on now. Sugar free. Look, let me stop because I'm all over the place.
The dark can or the light can?
It's just regular Red Bull, man. I just grab the can of Red Bull.
You need to take care of your liver and kidney more.
Hey, look, man, I don't drink it too much. I need it today though. But I'm good though. I'm great.
Shout out to you, bro.
What's up, chat?
Yeah, shout out to you, bro. And also we want to welcome first timer in here. You know, our homeboy, he did an amazing, when I mean amazing, it was very amazing. I learned more stuff about Slow-Mo, and I've been knowing this man for over 3 years in this one stream than I knew about him ever. The homeboy Ham.
You gotta pay attention to me. You gotta ask me questions, man.
Oh, okay.
He asked me questions. You don't ask me questions. You don't care about me. You don't think about me. You don't ask me. You don't pay me any attention whatsoever.
I called you.
So this is why. This is why you learn things, because you have to pay attention, man. Pay attention.
Listen, I called you 2 days ago while I was at work and asked us, Slow-Mo, are we friends? So
it was a really weird conversation.
It was a really weird conversation. But back to the guest, Ham Solo. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the environment with me and Slow-Mo. Amazing job with your shows over the last couple of weeks that you've been doing. I've been checking them out. And what's been going on with you, man?
Well, guys, how are you doing today? No, I'm just fucking around. What's cracking, y'all? What's really going on? Yeah, it's your boy Ham Solo. Yeah, man, I had a really good time doing an episode with Slow-Mo Backslap. I believe that was just last week. Man, it feels like a long ass time ago. But man, that was a lot of fun. Great. Yeah, man. It was like, I think it was like 2.5 hour long episode of us just bullshitting, talking about gaming, and I mean that's the kind of stuff I love. So if anybody's into that kind of stuff, they want to learn more about who they follow, or if you want to learn more about me or something like that, check out the show. But if you want to let people know who you are, holla at your boy. I have no problem with getting on an episode with anybody as long as we keep it about gaming and not about bullshit. But yeah, I appreciate y'all inviting me to the show. Really excited.
Yeah, definitely. Let's talk to some of the people that showed up in the chat. We got Saractus. He is first in the chat. First of all, Davanero, he wasn't first. Well, Mitchie wasn't first. Do we have a new King, Slow-Mo? Do we have another person that showed up to the show first? Well, shout out to you for making it here first. We got Baron. Shout out to you.
How come you ain't say the name?
I did say his name.
What's the person's name that was first?
What did I just do? Go back and listen to it. You trying to get me
you didn't say the name.
Hard the first time, so you trying to get me to say it again.
I didn't hear you say it.
I did say it.
And I need a fucking whistle, man. I need to blow a whistle because y'all foul.
This is jumping down my throat.
Just say the name. You know what? I don't know the name. So tell me the name because I don't know how to say it.
Saractus.
What? I can hear you.
Saractus.
All right, it's fine.
That's fine.
I'll accept it.
You could have said, that's what I said, Siractus. So I said, it could be completely wrong. I don't know. But, you know, in my case, it probably is wrong. But shout out to him. Shout out to Bear. Shout out to Dravenero. Mr. $100 Super Chat, the man that made my life so beautiful when he made Slow-Mo stream an extra hour of a game that he didn't want to play. You will always be in my memories in my heart, sir.
And my nightmares. Thank you. Thank you.
Nola Origin, shout out to you. Campaign isn't horrible on Crossfire, but that PvP is dog crap. Listen, man, people out here really, really dogging that game. You got big content creators, little ones. It's like equal opportunists out there when it comes to everybody crapping on that game, and I love it. We got Spider up in the chat. We got Vagabondo up in the chat. Mitchie dies a lot. You're supposed to be first, but you wasn't. Slow-Mo, I don't know what Slow-Mo's doing here. Slow-Mo's never here on time.
Excuse me?
We got Blade X up in the chat. You know, we got Alpha Will in the chat. Chris Singleton. Shout out to the boy Alpha Will with the $5 super chat saying, "What's up, fellas?" Listen, bro, appreciate you. That was the first time I think I've ever got a super chat before I even hit the live button, Slow-Mo. So shout out to him because that was there before we even went live. We got a Rodimus saying,
shout out to Alpha Will. That's the homie right there. That is the homie.
That is the homie. Shout out to the boy Rodimus saying he is ready for a 3-hour show, Slow-Mo. I don't know, but he's ready. He's ready to like go to sleep with his pillow, listening to us talk for the next couple hours. So shout out to you, the boy Chris.
He ain't gonna sleep. If we go for 3 hours, it's gonna be excitement.
It's gonna be
It's gonna be
right?
firecrackers, fireworks, explosions. It's gonna be great, man. I'm telling you, 3 hours of excitement.
Yep. Shout
Let's
out.
go.
Yep.
I'm ready to whisper some sweet nothings.
Absolutely. Shout out to the boy Chris Singleton. Shout out to you, bro. Shout out to Lex up in the chat. And I think that's it. Oh, the Sly Crow. What's up, bro? And Mishi, shout out to you too, bro. I appreciate all you guys coming through the show, man. It's been a pretty crazy week. Like nothing really huge, but just a bunch of little things that just kind of popped up. But we gonna start with our guest first, man. I definitely want to highlight him before we get into all of these crazy little micro topics that we have in the show, and
absolutely
talk to my boy Ham Solo. So Ham Solo, what has been going on with you? What has your journey been like doing? What made you want to jump into content creation, sir? Because you know this ain't for the faint of heart, and I love what you do over there. So what was the passion behind getting it started, and how did you go about it?
So man, I'm from Nebraska. I was telling Slow-Mo this before, and living there was hella boring and whatnot. So I always played like video games growing up, loved it. I started out on a Sega Genesis. The stepdad had a PlayStation, and at that time it was grown folks, and only grown folks can play the PlayStation. You know what I'm saying? So I was stuck on the Sega, and I fell in love with gaming, particularly playing Road Rash 2, because I could actually save my progression by physically writing down a password before I shut off the game. And also, I had a ghetto Sega Genesis, so if I got excited at the game and like moved my controller and it moved the system at all, the system would shut off. Because that power cord was janky in the back, because it was a hand-me-down. It was what it was, and I just took it and ran with it. But
hey, man, we've all had one of those before,
right? So I've always been kind of big into gaming since I was really little, and then growing up in Nebraska, I wanted to get the hell out of there. I ended up moving to Colorado. Ended up meeting my future wife. We had a kid. You know, life was going on, but I was always into gaming like that whole time. And she is into gaming as well. She actually put me on to Ark Survival Evolved, which ended up being 170 plus day game for me. Like I played that game. Like,
that game's a lot.
Yeah,
yeah, you got to get a lot of time in that game. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. So it was really nice being with somebody that supported me being a gamer. And like I finally ended up, we have our family. We started making money together, and we moved out to Kansas, and keep in mind, I'm moving. I'm starting to not know people anymore. So now I don't have anybody to talk to
I want to
about
say real
gaming.
quick, you love these states where it's like 12 black people in them. You started in Nebraska, got like 6 black people. Then you moved to Colorado that got like 30 black people, and then Kansas where you had to been the only black brother in
Kansas
every
City.
county that you were
Kansas City. So this is like in
in.
Missouri.
Okay, never mind then. I know about Kansas
Yeah,
City.
never mind. Exactly. Never mind.
He was in a heart. He was in a heart.
Yeah.
But anyways,
You found some brothers then. I got you.
so after I moved here, you know, the Xbox generation was pretty much at the end. And the PlayStation. I mean, you could say the Xbox generation was over a long time ago. But
Say that didn't even start.
But anyways, it was over, and I started hearing about the Series S and X and the PS5, and I had saved up all this money because I was an indoor skydiving instructor, and I used to get tips from people all the time, teaching them how to fly and taking parties and teaching friends and stuff like that. They'd always tip me and whatnot because our pay was ass, and tips were like the thing to get. So I saved up my tips, bought me a PS5 on launch day, bought me an Xbox Series X on launch day, was kicking it for a while, playing those games, really enjoying it. And actually, when I went to go buy these consoles, before I bought them, I got a Twitter page. Mm-hmm. And one of the big things that got me into content creation was seeing how serious people were about gaming on Twitter. There's the good and then there's the bad, of course. Yeah. But it was really fun being in a community that cared so much about it because I'd never seen that before. So getting into that and then also getting these new consoles, and then I saved up some more money and then bought me a 3080 for my PC. I was like, man, I got everything I fucking need.
Yes, you do. A 3080. Let's go. Go
yeah, so I was like, I got everything I need. And, you know, my lady likes playing games, but she don't like it like I do. So I was like, man, I need somebody to talk to about this. And Twitter just wasn't cutting it enough. So I ended up hollering at this dude named Loke7 that's on Twitter. He lives in Africa. I always fuck with him and say that he's really living in Texas and he's giving me that bull jive. But no, he lives in Mozambique, Africa. And I hit him up and I was like, yo, man, like, you seem like a pretty cool person. I had no idea you lived in Africa. And sent him a little request on what is it called? Xbox, because he gave me his gamer tag and I was playing with him and whatnot. And he told me he was from Africa. And I was like, bullshit. Like, you ain't really from Africa. Because I ain't never expanded my, you know, playing with people all over the world. And I just thought that was really cool to meet somebody from there. He's a brother, you know. It's just really nice coming from Nebraska. It's really nice talking to another brother, you know. Right. So with that being said, I ended up hollering at him and saying, yo, man, let's maybe are you into like content creation? Because he was a writer and he actually ended up writing some articles for IGN and whatnot. So I was like, yo, man, like, looks like you really like talking about games. Like, you ever thought about making a YouTube channel? And he's like, no, I never thought of it, but I'd love to do it. So that's kind of how it happened. It was just kind of a domino effect of just random things happening and me just wanting to meet and be cool with all sorts of different types of people. It started out with me really loving Xbox a little too much. And then I started seeing some of the stuff from PlayStation and whatnot. And I was like, you know what? This generation, I'm not going to sell myself short. I'm going to get everything and just love gaming and not sit here and expect one side to give me everything that I want, because it's just not realistic.
Exactly. Like that right there is what I feel like a lot of people really need to kind of like get into their head. I understand, like, you know, finances, and sometimes people are just making ends meet and they want to enjoy gaming, but they don't really have like the budget to really just get into everything, which is fine. You know, it's fine. But just know that, like, if you really want to enjoy everything, that when you're dealing with platforms that are competing with one another, they're going to do things like make things stuff time exclusive. They're going to acquire studios or publishers. They're going to do what they can to make their platform different from other platforms, to make their platform more attractive and unique than their competition. And if you really want to enjoy all those things, hey, maybe you need to save up your money.
Right.
Maybe, you know, I dare I say what the Sony executive said about PS3, get a second job. You know, like,
Oh
let me
Lord.
you ain't gotta get a second job. I'm just saying, like, you maybe cut back on going to Starbucks every day.
Or
I
just
don't
go
know.
find a
Like,
job that pays more money.
hey, you could try that too. But just
Hey,
whatever
there's
it
a lot
is,
of
just
jobs right now. A
understand.
lot of people don't want work,
There's a
so
lot
there's a
of
lot of
jobs right
jobs.
here that's paying a lot of money, more than
Yeah.
they usually pay.
Exactly.
But
And
all I'm
they
saying
paying
is
just to
that,
keep your ass right now.
yeah, all I'm saying is that there's not going to be a platform that's going to have everything. It's just not going to
Right.
happen. And so it's better that people understand that and not say choose to trash one platform just because they don't have the games on their platform and that kind of stuff. Like, just be honest with yourself. Like, if you want those games, figure out a way to get them and stop.
You know what's really funny
Yeah.
about what you said is you could equate that easily to all the people saying Halo is ass, and then once Bungie gets Halo, then all of a sudden we're getting the Halo, we own Halo now, and it's
Those are all
those
the
same perpetrators.
Those are all the
Those
those
same
are all the
perpetrators.
brainlets that don't know anything.
Right.
It just be the same perpetrators that don't make sense. Like
Yeah.
the shit that they say just doesn't quite add up.
Yeah,
It's fun to watch though.
absolutely. So, well, brother, we appreciate you coming on the show, man, and make sure that we put your stuff in the description and stuff so people can know how to get to you and everything. But
Appreciate it.
let's move on to our first topic, where EA, oh my God, first of all, they can't get a scoreboard right. You know, again, you know, a franchise that always had a scoreboard that never had a problem
You got
with
super
it.
chats first. Before we do that, get into
you're right.
the super chat.
Go ahead and get you go ahead and read them slow mo. Go ahead.
Why I gotta read them? All right. Before that, ham, check your DM real quick. And I will do these super chats real quick. Shout out to Arodimus with the wait a minute. You got Alpha Wheel, right?
Yeah, I got Alpha Will already.
Okay. Shout out to Arodimus with the $5 super chat. No more drugs for slow mo. Caffeine kills. Arodimus. Red Bull is not a drug. It is a legal drink that you can buy at your local 7-Eleven or whatever gas station that you want to get it from.
So is
And
liquor,
there's
though.
nothing wrong with it. It depends on the state. In my state, you can't buy liquor at places like that.
You can buy liquor though.
No, you can't. Like you said, you can't buy liquor at like a 7-Eleven or a
But you
gas
can
station
still
in my
go
state.
you can go to Kroger's and buy liquor or whatever your Whole Foods.
Why are you bringing up? What are we talking about? He said drugs. Liquor isn't drugs.
He's talking about Red Bull,
Red Bull is not liquor.
but he's talking about it kills. And you said,
And so instead of saying slow mo, no more drugs, we need to say Forte, no more drugs. Because I don't know how you equating Red Bull with actually Arodimus did that too. Both of y'all.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just going
But
to
both of y'all are off. That's all I'm saying.
You just said.
Both of you guys need to understand what Red Bull is. That's all I gotta say.
Oh
So
my
shout out to
God.
Vagabond 5591 with the $5 Canadian. Have a great show, folks. Going to try to get some shut eye and see if I can wake up for Forbidden West. Will you be streaming the game, Forte?
Sure
And
am. Yep.
You going to stream?
Yeah, I'm gonna stream it tomorrow when I get off work. I'm streaming tomorrow.
Nice. Okay.
I am
Okay.
streaming it. Yep. I
All
got
right,
to.
then.
I have to stream
Yeah.
it.
Streaming for once. You gonna stream on the YouTube channel?
Yeah, I'll stream because I haven't set up I have my Twitch channel set up, but I'll probably just do it on my YouTube channel.
So I got a
Nice.
quick question for you.
Mhm.
When you stream it, and this might be a question that might be might be helpful for other people as well.
Mhm.
When you stream it, do you stream it directly from the PS5 or do you stream it to your computer and then run it, or do you have like Elgato that runs through?
I have an Elgato, so I stream to my PC, but for people that just start out, is nothing wrong with just streaming from your PS. I mean, I see hundreds and hundreds of people get their start on YouTube and Twitch by literally just streaming from their console. If that's the only way you can do it, it's all about just getting your voice and your opinion and your gameplay out there. Then your system and your streaming from your PlayStation 5 or your Xbox is perfectly viable. But if you want to take it to the next level, then get yourself a capture card and be able to do it that way. It's a small investment, but it definitely does help. But you also got to have a pretty decent enough rig to be able to do it too. So that's like probably the next step to be able to just take it to another level. But if you do it from your system, that's fine too.
I was streaming from the Xbox Series consoles because I know recording gameplay has been a problem. It is really bad. And then I do know the PlayStation 5 streaming from that. It's not like, you know, the most amazing experience ever, but it's definitely serviceable. I've seen a lot of people who go live on Twitch and they're just doing it all through their PlayStation, which is awesome. I stream nearly every day. Not every day, but like at least 3 times a week I stream. But I, like as Forte had mentioned, I kind of like have that kind of setup where I have a PC. I got an internal capture card. I go with the AverMedia one. It's really good. And if I'm streaming a PC game, I just use my graphics card for that because it's I mean, that's what Nvidia graphics cards. One of the great benefits of them is, but yeah, if you want to get into that, Ham, I would say, I mean, you got a PC with a 3080. You could just use your PC to stream your PC games, and then try to find either external or internal capture card that works for you, works for the games that you're trying to actually stream. You don't need to go spend as much money as I spent. I spent like $250 on my card. It's not necessary, especially when Twitch, for example, if you decided to stream to Twitch, if you wanted to go to YouTube, cool, but like the amount of bandwidth needed to stream at 1440p is 60 FPS on YouTube is like about 25 kilobytes per second. Mm-hmm. It's not necessary. It's like, go get yourself an external capture card that does 1080p 60 and you'll be good.
Right. Yeah, definitely.
We got a local celebrity in the house.
Yeah, no, I just saw that. Shout out to the
gaming.
Yeah,
go ahead, go do it.
Nope. Shout out to the homeboy Dilla Gaming with the $10 super chat saying, "What's up?" Yeah, man. Great show by the way.
What up, Dilla?
Yeah, good show by the way on Tuesday, man. Very, very informative. Always bringing the good stuff on a Tuesday when ain't nobody got nothing else to do. But yeah, man, it's if you can, just like I said, it shouldn't be how you do it. Should be just do it. Honestly, if you have a way of streaming your content and getting it out there to people, then just find a way to do it if that's something that you want to do. But that's
what King David said actually when I first started actually doing content, because when I first started doing content, I was hella nervous and I was just like, I don't know how to start, and he was just like, start. That's it. Just start. Yeah. And he is like, don't be afraid to hit people up. And I damn sure have not been afraid to do that. I've been hitting up people left and right. And I'm actually amazed on how many people actually hit me back and are actually really interested in doing it. Like Slow-Mo, for instance.
Yeah.
I love having conversations with gamers about just gaming topics and stuff. Like when you hit me up, I was like, all right, I'm down. Let's do it. Anytime I'm always free for that kind of stuff. As long as I actually have the time, with family and stuff.
He'll make the time. So let's get into this first topic, man. Let's do it. Let's talk about how Electronic Arts, we ain't even gonna give them the short name. We ain't gonna say EA. We ain't gonna say none of that stuff. We just gonna say Electronic Arts because they deserve their whole government to be out there for the stuff that they said in this call. So they're saying that it is the fault of Halo's early release or their surprise release is the reason that Battlefield 2042 has suffered and hasn't hit expectations of what they thought the game should achieve. So I'm gonna start with I'm gonna start with our guest. You know, Ham. When you hear something like that from EA, what is the first thing that comes to your mind?
Yo, shut up. That's the best way I can say it right now. That's the best way I can say it right now. Is just shut up. Like everybody, like I can't say everybody, but a lot of people played that beta and they already knew what the deal was. They already knew this needed to be delayed. This isn't ready to come out. Oh, you're giving me an old build? Well, that's telling me that the new build is obviously not up to snuff either. So why? Like I don't understand why they're blaming it when the writing was on the wall from the jump. Like everybody already knew this game is not running right. This game doesn't feel right. I'm having a hard time getting into matches. A and B and C ain't working. I can't shoot the person right in front of me.
Oh my God,
these have been issues.
Busted.
Right. I mean, like, so all these things have been known, and all of a sudden, here in February, you're going to go all the way back to November and say that Halo's at fault? When if you look at Halo could be doing better itself.
Facts.
So I don't want to hear that it's another game's fault that you, yet again, made something that wasn't ready. It's not like it's your first time.
Right.
You did it again. And now you're blaming somebody again. Cut it. That's all I got to really say about it, bro.
Slow mo. Please go
ahead. Oh my God.
I give you the floor.
I'm so geeked right now.
Tell me, what do you think of this crap?
But before I get into them, like pointing the finger at Halo, like the entire time I was reading the article that talked about all this, in the back of my head, I heard like this tiny little violin just playing as I was reading the quotes from them about all the excuses they had about why their game bombed. And I'm just like, are you serious right now? I mean, it's just like we had to create a whole new engine because the Frostbite engine's awful. I mean, who didn't know the Frostbite engine was awful? No way. Really? Like your own developers hate using that engine. Oh, shocker. Your engine sucks ass. Okay, oh, whoopsie. Okay, there's that, right? All new tech is basically a new engine, is what they said. They went back. The Frostbite version they were on was so old that they had to go back and update it. So it's basically putting the game on a new engine. Well, maybe you should have delayed the game. If you had to build a whole new engine, if you had to completely redo Frostbite engine in order to get your game out and actually have it run on the engine, maybe, just maybe, you should have delayed the game. But no. It's not their fault. It's not that they didn't delay the game. It's Halo's fault. How dare Halo be so polished? How dare Halo have actual hit detection that works for the most part? Because we know because some decent issues on Halo 2. But I mean, it's just nowhere near as bad as Battlefields. But how dare Halo actually have servers that work?
How dare Halo have a scoreboard? How dare they have a scoreboard? How dare I know how many kills versus deaths I have in a game?
They got a scoreboard? Who are they? They got scoreboards at launch? Oh man, 343. They must be gods. How could they do it? It's just like, are you serious right now? EA has hit a new low here.
No.
You knew Halo Infinite was coming out this fall. You knew it. Matter of fact, you had a full year to prepare for this because Halo was supposed to be out the year before and they delayed the game. So you knew what you were getting into. And you knew you were going to have competition, not just Call of Duty, but another shooter. And still, you were not prepared. And still, you didn't give your developers more time to get the game ready. And you decided to be super ambitious with a game on a brand new engine.
And keep in mind, they're blaming this for less than a month of time of extra, like without Halo. Like Halo would have came out in less than a month, anyways.
Right.
So what's it got to do with that? There still would have been these bugs.
Yeah, and if your game was great at launch, you came out before Halo.
Mm-hmm.
If your game was great at launch, people wouldn't have dropped your game to play Halo. And right now, yes, Halo has more concurrent players playing it right now, but even Halo has lost a large number of players that were playing the game since launch. They still have more than Battlefield does. It's just like there's no one else to blame but yourselves. Just own it. Yeah. We messed up. We should have launched this game in 2022. But instead, we tried to push it out because we told our investors this is when we will launch. That's really what it comes down to, is that especially with companies like EA, where they're very, very investor focused. They're not focused on quality of content. They're not focused on making sure that their gaming communities that play their games are satisfied. They're focused on investors. We've seen it for years with how they would do their E3 conferences, where they would just, no one watching this gives a crap about mobile games. But here you are bringing back mobile games. Mm-hmm. Always the first one to show a game on mobile, or bringing back an old IP that people really wanted an actual solid game for. Instead, it's some mobile garbage, and you got some mobile gamers up there on stage playing it in front of everybody, like we can see their screens. Like, what is this? And it's stuff like that EA has always done, because it's always been about what the investors want. The investors, who aren't gamers, care about them going mobile because mobile makes a lot of money.
Right.
And so that's where their focus has always been. And when you see them saying things like this, all these excuses that they have, it's because they need to appease investors, because they don't want them to jump ship.
Yeah.
And hurt the overall value and net worth of the company.
Nope. Listen, man. when I saw that, I was like, wait a minute. So we're not gonna. So they said, oh, we know. They tried to throw out there, say, oh, we know that the game has faults. We know that we messed up when it comes to our player base and the trust that they gave to us when it came to putting out a really good game. They tried to caveat it by saying that, but then they just throw out there yo. But it's really Halo's fault, because Microsoft decided to, give a beta, to give a early release beta, the multiplayer, to people 2 to 3 weeks before the game came out, and it really stifled our overall player base in general. Well, that's okay, for real. The first thing I did say is you know what, you might be right to that at the very beginning, but you know what killed your game more than anything? The fact that it didn't work. You took listen, you took some of your most hardcore gamers when it came to Battlefield. I love right. Battlefield is literally my second favorite franchise when it comes to FPS. I play so much Battlefield 4.
Pause.
Yes.
Second favorite?
I said FPS. Destiny's not Destiny's not my first. Halo's still my first. Destiny's third. It's just the game's addicting, so it's third.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that you were properly putting Destiny where it needed to be.
Yeah, third. Destiny's third.
Lomo out here pulling your car.
No, Destiny. Listen, I'm honest about the games that I love. Destiny's third on that list, but I play. I don't even know how many hours of Battlefield 4 when that game was completely janky. But you know what was the carrot for me? When I went into a game and I was thinking that I was bad at it, because I was not getting hit mark. I was like, okay, is this game am I just missing? Is my aim this bad in this game? Kind of find out the hit detection's broken. And as soon as they came out and said, oh yeah, we're working on a fix to fix the hit detection, and it took 6 months for them to fix it, and it still isn't fixed technically, I'm like, okay, I can't play this game anymore. Maybe something like that has something to do with the reason that your game ultimately only has 2,000 people playing on Steam right now. But that it is what it is on that. But do we think this is going to harm? Do you think long term? Do we think Battlefield is pretty much irreparably harmed due to this?
Nah.
Do you think it's going to make an insurgent comeback? What do you think is the
look? You got some hardcore Battlefield fans that aren't playing the game right now, but these we've seen a history of these fans waiting until the game is fixed. They've been through this before with DICE and EA. When the game is fixed, they get back in there and they enjoy it. And I think that is what they've done is they've missed the opportunity to grow their Battlefield community because the game at launch, if it was ready at launch, they had the opportunity to steal potential Call of Duty gamers away from Call of Duty, potentially stealing Halo gamers away from Halo. Because the game is so broken, they lost the opportunity. So all they can do is recover their own community, which, as I said, have been proven to come back to the game once the game is fixed. And so I do expect DICE to fix the game. It may take longer with this one than they've done in previous games, like with Battlefield 4. And I think, was it 1 that was also really bad at launch?
Yeah. 4 took almost a year and a half to 2 years to fix.
Yeah, see, look, it might be like 4 again, but people love 4.
I love it. It's probably still the best Battlefield game out.
And see, and that's that sentiment right there about the way Battlefield fans feel about 4, even though it took them forever to fix it, is how the Battlefield community views that game. I mean, I saw people prior to the launch of the game, after the beta, saying they expected it to be broken at launch. So like there's a certain expectation that's already there from that community. And I think that what you're going to get is they'll come back to the game, but for the opportunity that they would have had to get new gamers, that's gone. Yeah. That's gone completely because they messed up at launch. And that's kind of something that I kind of feel all 3 of the major first person shooters, Halo, COD, and Battlefield, all missed that opportunity in the last few months. Call of Duty with going with World War II and not really doing much different than what you expect from a Call of Duty game. Halo with not having a lot of modes at launch, also with the battle pass that people couldn't stand. Like they all had the opportunity to really build upon what they had already had with their communities, and unfortunately, I think they all failed to really grow beyond that point.
Yeah, interesting. So, shout out to some people in the chat. Shout out to the Sly Crow saying the demo of Battlefield felt like it was made by Tencent.
Oh man!
Oh my god!
Or made by Smilegate.
Yeah. Soapbox Game says, and if we were being honest, the 2042 situation is just as bad as, if not worse, than Cyberpunk's launch issues. I 100% agree with that. And Sir Taz, shout out to the homie, shout out to the fire team. He says Battlefield 2042 had one thing Halo didn't: big team battle. which was the only thing that it probably had over it. But no, I agree with both of you. I just think in general it's very disheartening to see that these corporations continue to still put the greed and the expectation of making money faster than they need to over the fact that the game needs to just come out in a playable, polished state. Because guess what? You will make more money if you did that. People, and the unfortunate thing is Battlefield still charts in the top 10 of the MPD. Even with all these issues, people still go out and buy this game. Now, granted, it's not at the $60 or $70 price tag that, they wanted at, because they had to drop the price on it significantly to like $19-$29, not even 3 or 4 months after launch. But people are still going out there and buying it. And if we go off of, in our next topic, which we're going to transition to, Cyberpunk, we can see people are willing to forgive and forget. As long as they end up getting the product that they want, they're willing to, roll back the hands of time and get back into it. I just feel like this is just another situation that DICE and EA, they knew what the backlash would be on something like this, and they knew it would be a little bit more severe if it was this game in general, because we had this situation not with just one Battlefield, with just multiple ones over the course of the last generation, and people were really looking forward to this one because it was somewhat a return to form, because people want to play modern combat, and that's what this game is. And when it works, it's great. The game is amazing when it works, but 99% of the time it doesn't. So
before we transition,
yeah, go ahead.
Before we transition from this subject, I just wanted to say, because you brought up the question about whether it'll make a comeback or not, and I like what Slow-Mo said about, it'll make a comeback for those that love Battlefield, but those that don't, it's pretty much dead. My argument to that is, if they were to provide DLC that made it worth it with a patch, then yes, it might revitalize the game quite a bit. But I feel like if you're gonna mess up on a game, it feels like now is the time, because everybody seems to be doing it.
Right.
Everybody seems to be throwing out games undercooked. So like, luckily they did it now instead of doing it once everybody kind of got their act together. But I am tired of it, and I hope that they start to fix this stuff to where it's not coming out all buggy and everything, because it's cool to play a game before launch and see the bugs and all that. I mean, it's like, whatever, it's not quite done yet, whatever. But like, when you turn into the QA after you spent all your money, then it's like, all right, why'd I just spend $70 and I got to tell you what's wrong with it? Like, you don't know. Like, there's no way you didn't know that there's this many issues in the game. Right. You knew it. You still put it out because you wanted my money.
Right. I agree 100%. And before we do transition, I do want to bring up the topic that Slow-Mo did bring up, because I didn't write it into this topic list. But let's talk about 4v4. Let's talk about 4-player co-op coming to Halo, something that we already knew because of the stations that were set in the single player.
The
Slow-Mo,
forward operating bases. Yeah.
So Slow-Mo, tell us what they said around that.
All right, I'm gonna find the exact quote real quick.
Because we got to be literate when we talk about this stuff.
You mean literal?
What did I say? Literate? Yeah, I did say literate. Would be DPS if I don't either say something.
He's just non-stop checking you, man. He's just on you.
This is normal. This is normal.
I wish for the best for my home.
I love it.
And I just want everyone to know what he means instead of what he says, 95% of the time. Anyway, the quote from the article from Windows Central was, co-op campaign also hits Halo Infinite during its second season, allowing up to 4 players to experience the latest open world adventure. And so if you have played the campaign, then you have unlocked or taken a forward operating base in the open world. And in doing so, you could, reload your guns or get different weapons that you may have unlocked throughout the world in the campaign. And you would notice there would be like 4 terminals to get your weapons from. And if, of course, the campaign right now is only solo. You don't need all 4 of those. You just need 1. But the fact that they have 4 of them told me, I knew immediately this is probably going to be a 4-player co-op campaign, because why would you have 4 of these if it's only going to be 2 or 3, right? So that's that. It looks like I don't think they said.
I don't think they gave a timetable. Did they? When?
They're saying studio later announced the 3. Oh, let's just talk about this part. There's one part that was talking about what they did before, which announced the 3-month delay into May. I don't see any updates in regards to the timetable going forward. If it's still May that they are going to launch season 2, I will hope so, because the game's kind of, look, man, I don't play Halo Infinite as much as I used to, because I've maxed out my battle pass. There are some little issues that going on in the game. Stuff like Big Team Battle was broken for forever. And at this point now, I just kind of want to play it with people that I know and just having fun. I don't feel like a reason to really to grind to get things or unlock things solo when I got other games that I can play. Rogue Company has a new season, Splitgate has a new season, that kind of stuff. So it's just like I am kind of chilling on Halo Infinite, and unless some people want to play it, then I'm down to play it. But I'm kind of chilling on it until the new season comes out, and I kind of feel like they have an opportunity to get a lot of those numbers back up with a new season that will be fixing some of these issues, like a lot of the rewards in the battle pass being kind of booty and other issues like that. But yeah, they really gotta make sure they get it ready by May, and that doesn't mean pull a EA and just launch it in May unfinished, but just make sure it's ready, within the next we got 3 months from now. So yeah. Ham, what do you think, man?
Man, I am excited. This is why I play Halo, is to play campaign with homies like we used to do back in the day. So I'm really excited for it. For me, I'm with you as well, Slow-Mo. I thought it was obvious that it was going to be 4 players. I didn't see any other different option, just because that's kind of what they're known for, is 4 player for the most part. So, but yeah, like I said, I'm really excited for it. As for the fact that, yeah, I mean that's really all I got to say at this very moment. I might pop back in when I remember exactly what I was going to say, but that's all I got for the second.
Nah, so yeah, shout out to the Sly Crow. He says more maps, please, for Halo. Absolutely.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
That actually reminded me. That re-sparked what I was gonna say.
Oh, there's Sly Crow making it happen. Let's go.
Thank you, bro. But yeah, so similar to what Slow-Mo was saying as well, I kind of put that game down a little bit right now, just because there is so much other stuff to play. Right now, Halo is kind of lacking enough things to kind of do in it. I feel like I'm doing the same things over and over and over and over and over. It's just a little too repetitive right now. But once I get I don't know, 3 more maps or something like that, give me some more maps. Give me some more, things to do in the campaign and whatnot. Right now it's just a little dry for me on the Halo spot, but they said it's a 10-year game, so you're not going to catch me saying Halo is dead at any point, because it can pop right back up.
Yeah, I agree with that. Shout out to...
And since we're talking about 10-year games, quote unquote, we're gonna need some more campaign content.
Yeah, we don't know when that's gonna happen.
Soonish. When we gonna see what happened at the end of those cutscenes at the end. When we gonna get to when's that gonna happen? But that's a podcast for another day.
For campaign, when you drop that 4 player, because we ain't all trying to play the same thing over again.
That's true. That's very true. So shout out to Big Mike. He says the only way I'm going back to Battlefield 2042 is if they make it free to play. That's more than likely going to happen. Surtaz says season 2 is going to be in 2033.
Possible.
Blade X says, is the campaign getting new textures and new trees?
Unlikely, Blade.
Very unlikely. But
yeah, you can get
shout out to Baron. Yeah. Shout out to Baron in the chat. I was with Level 1 Gaming last night for a brief little while before a brap. Cool cats over there, had a good time with them. Shout out to Barry.
Yeah, shout out to that guy Smitty. Yo, right back to you. So did a poll. We got 26 votes on it. Will you come back to Battlefield 2042? 15% of you guys said yes. It'd probably be 18% because I would come back because I love the franchise too much, but they would have to do a lot of major overhauls to get it to be where it needs to be. 54% say no, and 31
as one of those no's.
And 31% was like, man, I knew it was gonna be a train wreck, so I didn't even try it. So shout out to you guys, and shout out to the homeboy Deli up in the chat. Really appreciate you coming through, bro. But Yeah, man, I think for myself, when it comes to this, it just really instantly comes back to there's so many people just waiting to play this game in co-op. Like, I know a lot of people that literally didn't even play the single player because they want to play it with either their friends, their family, their kids, or something, because that's the way that they always traditionally, enjoyed these games, and there was always that first time going through it. Because we all know when you play games like this, you never get that first time back, and you want to kind of experience it the way you want to experience it. So it's unfortunate that it took this long, and we still don't have a timetable on when this is going to rectify itself. But I am happy to see that they are moving forward on it. But they definitely need to do something to associate the people's needs and some stuff when it comes to this game going forward, because I played this game like crazy over the first month and a half that it was out, and I literally haven't booted up Halo in probably 2-3 weeks at this point now, because there's really nothing to do. As much as I want to get all the armor and stuff from like the Fractured Timurai event, I just started not caring after a while, because like after a point, it's just armor. It's not something that's going to really change the way you play the game or anything where you feel like you have to be in there. And I do think that it's good to incentivize your player base with gear and stuff like that is cosmetic only, but that only goes so far. You have to have something like that carrot on the stick that draws you to the game, that really associates that power fantasy that people like in the game. And I think that's what they're kind of missing when it comes to new maps or new weapons or just a new way to play the game. And once we get stuff like that, or we get a new season where we could progress through that battle pass again, which I think everybody likes doing, then you'll see those numbers go back up. But the game is still healthy, free to play. It's doing really good on Steam. It's still doing really good on Xbox. It's still one of the top play games in the Xbox ecosystem. So they're doing something right. They just need to do it a little bit more faster to get before a lot of people lose more of what they actually love about this game in general.
A couple things before we move
Go ahead.
on. I did want to, I actually talked to some of my buddies that I've always played the Halo campaigns with, and I really just hit up our DM and our Slack DM just to say, hey guys, like, they confirmed 4-player co-op, because some of them were a little concerned that there would be 4-player co-op and we all couldn't play together because it's like 3 other guys in there.
Yeah.
They were excited about that, but they were just like, yo, is this still May? I was like, I think so, I don't know. And they were just like, well, just let me know, because I'm not even going to install the game until they got the co-op in. So
right.
I do think they're going to get a bump in people actually playing the game more once they come out with the co-op. It's just the longer you wait, the less enthused people will be, and the less people are willing to be patient with that. So they're going to need to make sure that they get it ready as soon as possible. And also our homie Deli said he heard a rumor that Sony is going to acquire Damage Per Second podcast. And Deli, I cannot confirm nor deny that rumor may be true or not, but just know, if you start to see me saying things like click clack all over my Twitter timeline, you know what's up.
Right. So transitioning over to everybody's favorite game that's been in the news for like the last 15 to 16 months, Cyberpunk. The next gen update has finally come. The first question I want to ask is, who on the panel has actually played the game already, and and did you already beat it, or were you waiting for this patch to be able to finish it or even start it?
Well, I once upon a time I won a bet that was a slam dunk. It was the easiest bet I ever won in my life, and
I think the one
the reward of that bet,
I think the one you got right now might be even more of a slam dunk, but go ahead.
Oh, right. But I haven't won that one yet, but this is definitely going to be that. But this bet was so easy, and I got Cyberpunk as a gift for it, right? And man, I kind of wish I would have chosen a different game, but it's okay. I played through it. I beat Cyberpunk. The story's all right. It's a decent story. It's got some very, I think the characters in the story are more compelling than the story itself. And I'm not even talking about Johnny Silverhand, aka Keanu Reeves. I'm talking about the other characters that were that people kind of just like fell in love with in the game. Those characters were really good. The combat sucks, and the gunplay sucks, and a lot of the systems I don't think are all that great. I think the game's just it's an okay game, but it's not a great game. But I'm glad that they finally have the next gen update out, and that people who were wanting to play this game on their PlayStation 5s and their Xbox Series X's and wanted to play it with as high a possible visual fidelity and performance as those consoles can allow, are finally able to do so without the game being a complete buggy mess. And the problem here is that they launched this in February.
Mm-hmm.
And it's in February, they're contending with games that are brand new that have not disappointed the gaming community yet. So you got Elden Ring, you got Dying Light 2, you got Lost Ark, you got Sifu, you've got Horizon Forbidden West. How many of the people who were interested in buying Cyberpunk 2077 and playing Cyberpunk 2077 are going to be still interested in doing it right now? And I just don't think it's a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
It is smart for them to have that 5-hour demo though, because now people can actually give it a shot, and in 5 hours you can do the prologue with your origin story in at least the first mission, and get a feel of what the plot of the story is and what the gameplay is like, and decide whether you really want to get this game or not. I think that's smart on their part. It shows a level of confidence in the current builds that they have going on right now. But still, like this should have been here like 2 months ago.
Right.
2 months ago, it would have been perfect. It would have been a perfect time for it. But unfortunately, people are just not. Like, you drop this a few days before Horizon Forbidden West comes out. You know, good luck. Good luck.
Yeah, that's a weird time to drop that patch for that game. But I tell you what, like, I was one of those guys that pretty much waited for this game to get that update. I got all the way up to the end, or I'm not sure if it's the end, to be honest, but I got done with a bunch of Pan Am missions. She's Bae in game. She's Bae.
Pan Am's great. She's great.
Her
and Judy, they're amazing.
Right. Yeah, but I'm courting Pan Am. That's where it is for me, bro. But
I know exactly why. You ain't gotta say another word.
But anyways, the game was fairly fuzzy to me when I played it before the patch. I feel like with the patch being there, it's a lot less fuzzy. It looks a little bit more clean. I will say that the ray tracing mode is pointless. To me, at least, it was.
I agree.
Didn't need that at all. The reflections that they have in the
you mean the PC version of it?
No. I'm talking about the Xbox Series X and the PS5 version. There's two different versions on there. There's performance, and then there's ray tracing. And the ray tracing mode is ray trace.
Yeah, is only ray trace shadows, and that's it.
Right.
And they dropped down the frame rate to 30 FPS to accommodate that.
It's awful.
I mean, ray trace shadows is the lowest form of ray tracing. It doesn't dramatically change the game, although I like the implementation of it that I've seen from like gameplay that I've watched in Dying Light 2. That's probably the best implementation of ray trace shadows I've ever seen. But in Cyberpunk, it's almost worthless. Ray traced reflections and lighting completely changes the way that city looks on PC. Like same area, just turn that stuff on and see how it looks and turn it off, and you're just like, well, damn, that looks completely different. So yeah, I agree. It's I see no reason why they should have even implemented it on consoles, honestly.
That's exactly how I felt when I turned it on and looked around. I was like, well, I'm turning this off, and that took all of 10 seconds. like I'm done with this. But as for the game itself, I'm kind of piggybacking on what you guys kind of said already. Like, came out last like 2020 December, and now you're dropping the new console versions a week before, or less than a week before Horizon, and Dying Light just came out, and I mean there's good games that you can play right now, Sifu as well. So jumping back into Cyberpunk is kind of an afterthought. Even me that's excited and have been waiting for this new update, it's still kind of an afterthought, because it's like, well, you had a long time and I gave you some time to like figure it out, give it to me so I could play it during all these dead times. During all these dead times within gaming. And now you give it to me in the busiest month. I find that weird myself, and I'll definitely play it, but it's in the backlog where games don't want to be.
I agree with that. Slow-mo, do you think in general that this game do you think it's worthy of people's time and devotion? Because it is a longer game. Do you think people should go back and actually play this game if they have like the PS5 or Xbox Series X or S? I mean, if you have an S, they did say it's 1440p at 30 frames per second. I did see a couple of people talking about that they were looking into a 60 frames per second option for the S, but right now it's only at 30 frames per second. And we do have the performance mode, we do have a ray tracing mode, and we do have, I forget what the third mode they said was, which was the ray tracing performance. Oh, it's just those two modes.
Yeah.
So do you think it's worth people's time to go back into this game if they already either played it? For myself, I'll tell you right now, I bought this game day one. I didn't refund it. I kept it on my system, and I just told myself I won't touch it until the update comes out. So do you think for a person like me, is it time to play Cyberpunk 2077, or is it still a little ways away from where it needs to be, like technically, to get everybody in board and want to enjoy the game the way it needs to be enjoyed?
From what I've heard, the large majority of the really annoying buggy issues are behind the game now.
Okay.
If you, I would say, yeah, it's time to play the game, but probably not right now. Maybe after you've played some other games that you may be more interested in, then give it a shot. Yeah, I think the game again has very, very compelling characters and a decent story that I can see people being invested in it. And since you already spent money on the game, might as well get your hours in it and your enjoyment out of it at this point, since you already spent money on it. So, but just like
cop it. I'd still cop it if I was a person that had no hands, like didn't have anything to do with this. I would say still cop this game. It's still pretty fun. Still looks really good. Okay. I mean, it got better. It got better. So, and I think at this point it's at a cheap price. So, I mean, why not go out and grab a game that's certified as next gen now?
Right. So.
Yeah. It is $25. Look, if you're interested in it, go ahead and give it a shot. Like, if there's nothing else that you are super compelled to play right now, like literally at this moment, matter of fact, again, you have the 5-hour trial. Give it a shot. If you have nothing else to play right now, play the 5-hour trial. And at the end of those 5 hours, if you still feel compelled to keep playing the game from that point on, go ahead and buy it. It's $25.
There will be another dead time too. So
that's true.
There'll be another dead time in gaming. Go ahead and get it.
Yeah. So shout out to some people in the chat. We got Alvin says, between Steam and PS5, I just hit 500 hours on my 4th playthrough. Let us know.
Wow.
Let us know in the chat. Is those playthroughs, are those all different play styles, or did you like double up on a couple of them just to do some different things under those type of play styles?
Well, it's got multiple endings. It's got about 4 different endings, and so even though you get 3 different origins, and the origins aren't all that deep. I mean, like the origins, you like the differences in your main character V. Like it's really comes down to dialogue options and information that the character may know. If you go corpo, you will have like information that other V's would not have about how corporations operate and work. If you go street rat, you would have like, of course, understanding of what's going on in like say business transactions between people in the streets, and just like understanding what people are saying, what they're really saying to you, that kind of stuff. I haven't done the what's Nomad's the third one, but I'm pretty sure Nomad probably has a lot of dialogue options when it comes to dealing with Pan Am's people who are nomads. But outside of that, there is no difference in the story for Cyberpunk, like by like determined by your actual origin story. But the choices that you make in the game in regards to Johnny Silverhand, and I'm not going to ruin the story or anything, but some of the situations that you are engulfed in, your decision making and how you choose to interact with the characters in the game can determine which ending that you end up getting. And so, yeah.
Shout out to Big Mike in the chat. He says, I played Cyberpunk 2077 on the PS4 and it was glitchy and buggy that made me not enjoy my experience. So I returned it to Sony and rebought it when I got the next gen update for PS5. And then we also got one from Big Mike saying, again, I tried it out on PS5 upgrade and I can confirm it still has some glitches and bugs. Just during the tutorial, the AI was T-posing and Jackie was sliding and gliding on the floor. Okay. Yeah, man. So it seems it's I think, like I said, I bought it when it first came out, so it's not like I'm invested I mean, the money I invested happened a year and a half ago at this point, so I mean, I'm definitely going to try it. I told myself when the update did come, so I did install it already. So I'll probably end up playing it over the course of this weekend because I need to do it before Witch Queen comes out, because after that it's going to be kind of crazy. Shout out to the Sly Crow with the $2 Canadian super chat. He says Techland versus CD Projekt Red. Who did it better?
Yo, the Polish developer wars. Here we go. Well, I think based off of general reception, here's the weird thing is that I think that the gaming community has accepted Dying Light 2 better, but Cyberpunk actually got like the better review scores. I don't know. I can't really call it me personally because I haven't played Dying Light 2 and I have no real interest in doing so.
Dying Light.
Yeah, Dying Light 2.
Yep, I say Dying Light 100% just because.
Oh, okay.
Just because of the way you move around, what you do in that game, the story just is a little bit. For me, it feels tighter, and the ambiance in that game is just insane. I haven't had a game tug on my anxiety like that in a long time. So I'm really pulling for Dying Light on this one.
Okay,
cool. Well, that's it for that one, man. You know, really great conversation. If you're enjoying the show, make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, man, and make sure you follow all of these amazing people at their social medias and, you know, check out their YouTube channels. But let's move over to the next topic, which is Bandai Namco and the situation with trophies and their love of people thinking that this might be the next acquisition for Sony when it comes to their IPs and stuff, which I can really see actually happening. But Slow-Mo, well, not even Slow-Mo, Ham, have you seen any of the news about this or anything?
I'm actually haven't. I'm fresh to this, so hit me with it.
Oh yeah, Slow-Mo, go ahead and hit him with it, man.
So there was a tweet that came out today. And it could be taken all kinds of ways, basically. But of course, a lot of people took it immediately as, you know, because this is the year acquisition, so people immediately took it. It's from Bandai Namco's Twitter account. I'm gonna throw it in the the Discord. Check Discord in the Fellowship channel.
Okay,
I'll put it in there so you can take a look at it. But essentially, the tweet said, It's from Bandai Namco, and it's quoted, "I've walked from the lands between to the PlayStation headquarters. I wonder if there's a trophy for this accomplishment." And it's a picture outside the PlayStation headquarters, and people immediately went crazy, right, as usual.
Mm-hmm.
And then Insomniac's Twitter account replied to that tweet saying, "Head south and visit us in Burbank," with another trophy, emote, or icon, whatever, right? And so now people are wondering if Bandai Namco is the next publisher that might be acquired, because there are rumors out there that Sony's going to acquire a publisher, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so here is a publisher that is a Japanese publisher. They aren't the net worth isn't. I think it's somewhere in the range of like a Square Enix, so it's affordable for Sony. And they have compelling IP. I mean, they have Tekken, they have Soul Calibur, they have fighting games that they do a lot of the anime fighting games like Dragon Ball Fighter Z, One Punch, and stuff like
Naruto,
that. So
all that stuff.
Right, and so the PlayStation is the platform for fighting games already. This just will further entrench themselves in that. They have the Dark Pictures anthology that Supermassive Games does for them on an annual basis. They have the Tales series, which Tales of Arise did amazing, and I think, in my opinion, the best Tales game that has ever been created, that came out last year, in addition to games like Scarlet Nexus that they've been dropping. So I think that would be a really good acquisition for Sony if they chose to make it. Now, do I think that's what this is? I'm gonna say no. After further thinking on it, I don't think it is, because I don't think if it was a real acquisition happening that we would hear anything about this. We would hear nothing about this from official accounts from these companies until it's done and they're ready to announce it. For them to say that and be so vague with it, it kind of seems like they may be just trying to promote something potentially. But as far as them being an actual acquisition, I kind of feel like that would be not just something that you wouldn't do, but you couldn't do. Because if you're going to acquire a publisher, that's going to change a lot of things. That's going to change the stock prices of these companies. I don't know if Bandai Namco is a publicly traded company or not, but we know Sony is. And if Sony is really acquiring Bandai Namco, you don't want to, before the deal is done, be announcing and insinuating certain kind of things like that. Meanwhile, that kind of can really shake things up and make things take it would take longer to get this stuff done. So I just don't think that if this was going to happen, that we would hear about it from them. We would hear about it from somebody like a Jeff Grubb or a Jason Schreier, somebody who is in the know, has nothing to do with these companies, but has information and wouldn't put it out there, not from the Bandai Namco themselves.
Right.
So with you passing that information over to me, yeah, to me it just sounds like marketing for something that they might be working on together. I feel like acquisition, I'm just not sure if that makes sense to me particularly. But then again, Activision didn't either. So I mean, it kind of is what it is, but I think that this is just hype for something that they might be working on that's coming out new that might be exclusive for PlayStation.
It could be Elden Ring.
It could be Elden Ring.
They're publishing Elden Ring, and that comes out at the end of the month. They just could be promoting that. Yeah.
Yeah. They might be talking about some Spartacus stuff.
Oh, hey, maybe that. But although that supposedly is going to be a few months off, but hey, that might be it too. Maybe Elden Ring is going to show up in Spartacus at some point. That whenever they get that.
People were talking about Elden Ring coming in Game Pass. Maybe Elden Ring might be going for some Might be going for some subscription services to get more people into Souls games.
Definitely possible, man. Forte, what do you think, man? What do you think is going on there?
I think you guys are right on the page. When I read it, I was like, I mean, we are in an age where stuff that happens on Twitter becomes the truth. It becomes gospel, becomes everything. So people are, of course, going to run with that narrative. But I do believe that the whole partnership thing seems more likely. It just seems like they are just mostly just either promoting something that we haven't even heard of yet, or they're, like you said, with the fact that Elden Ring is something that's literally around the corner. If you look at the tweet thread on that, you see that Elden Ring, the official Elden Ring account, actually replied to that tweet too. So there could be a whole bunch of different things that actually come to that. Now, would it make sense for Sony?
Oh, it's definitely Elden Ring. You wanna know why?
Why?
And shout out to somebody in the chat just said this about the pot thing.
I saw the pot, yeah.
Kizu. There's a big I didn't even see that in the picture. There's a big pot here,
Yeah.
like that's
I didn't see that
photoshopped
either.
into
Wow.
the picture. It's kind of hard to see because it kind of blends in with the with the PlayStation letters and the logo, but like, isn't that in Elden Ring?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So yeah, that's clearly this is an Elden Ring thing. Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, that's what I that's what I truly think. I mean, but I will, if we wanted to entertain the thought that this could happen, I do think the whole thought that they could purchase them just for the fighting game genre, that would literally lock up all that they have. You know, they just went out and bought Evo, mostly just to save it so it can still be a thing. But if they wanted to actually put, you know, some type of purpose to it, that would be one of the best ways to do it. You literally have center stage for pretty much any fighting game that's ever released, with the exception of a couple of them. So I do think that would be actually a really good move for them to do. I don't know if it would be the best move for them to do because there's other publishers and other things out there they can actually get a little bit more ROI out of. Like, I think Square is like one of the number one things on most people's minds. But I do think that this would be, it wouldn't be stupid if they did it. And I do think that is one thing that we can definitely say about this acquisition if it did happen. But I do think
I think Bandai Namco would be a more attractive option for Microsoft.
I do too. But
yeah, because
too.
they actually produce games that are not really known for the Xbox portfolio. And if those were first party games, imagine if they had their own like Japanese styles, Japanese RPGs, actual fighting games where they don't actually have like exclusive fighters for that platform at all. Like Bandai Namco could actually fill a major hole in their portfolio for Game Pass in regards to certain genres that aren't really supported on Xbox. Now,
Oh, yeah, for sure.
yeah, but again, that doesn't mean Microsoft is going to do anything, but I just think that it would be a better fit for them if they were to go that route.
Yeah, I agree 100% with that. I just think people just want Sony to make a publisher move, and I do think it's kind of driven from that direction. But these developers are actually feeding into it as well too. Let's not kid ourselves. You know, they see what's going on out here. They see the attention that everybody's getting when it comes to these type of acquisitions and stuff. So not only does it bring a little bit more notoriety to the games that they're making, like you said, you know, we got Elden Ring right around the corner. So, you know, them tweeting anything about just their company in general and Elden Ring, you know, commenting on it, that brings more attention to the IP, more than it probably was going to get anyway. And, you know, and everybody's talking about that game because they can't wait for it to come out. So I think it's just another way of just marketing, you know, without having to really pay for anything. You're just getting the names out there, and I think that's a good thing. So shout out to Sony for always doing amazing stuff when it comes to marketing, and Namco kind of following their lead. But with that being said, once again, appreciate everybody in the chat checking it out. Shout out to the
You got a
homeboy.
super chat.
That's why I said shout out to the homeboy Blaze 4K with the $5 super chat. Just pulled up on you guys. Shout out to you, bro. Always supporting in the community, man. Love everything you be doing on your channel and what you be doing over
Blaze
there.
is the homie,
Yeah,
man. Blaze.
He be over there with. I don't know how he contains himself over there with BitCloud, but you know he does a good job of it. He does a good job.
Yeah,
Good job.
The
of
solid cast. Yeah,
yeah, even more on there, definitely. But yeah, shout out to you, bro. And moving over to our next topic, which is comes out in an hour and a half. We got Horizon Forbidden West review scores. We got a two-parter here. We're also going to talk about the whole pricing situation that, one of everybody's favorite gaming lawyers / acquisition lawyers, Hogue Law, talked about a couple of days ago on this channel. But let's tackle the review scores. We talked about this on Scumcast last week, Slow-Mo, and everything that's going on with reviews. So why don't you kick this off? And, matter of fact, Ham, why don't you kick this off for us? Because I know you know about all this craziness that's been happening with review scores in Horizon Zero Dawn or Horizon Forbidden West.
Oh man, so if it ain't your game, it's okay. But as soon as it's your game, it's an issue. So I mean, that's the way I kind of look at this. I mean, I thought the score for it was really good, and I mean, I expected it to be like 90, so 89. Hey, let's go. I mean, that's the way I kind of looked at it, and I thought it was a good push. I mean, you didn't go backwards. You either stayed in the same lane or went a little forwards. This game's going to be exciting, though. Like, let's keep it all the way 100. Like, this game is super duper exciting. I'm gonna be hopping in it once I'm done with this with the show this evening. I think it's absolutely reviewed. I'm sure it's fair, but there are some people that do go on to these reviews. They'll give a game that's not 100, and then they'll come back and give a game that's not on their preferred platform like a bad score, and I think that's a lot of the people's frustrations. But
you mean those are like public media reviews or user reviews you talk about?
I'm talking about the public media reviews.
Okay, go ahead.
So like it just, I mean, it kind of is what it is. There's always going to be, that a few bad apples that kind of make everybody look bad or whatnot, but it happens on both ends. So like you'll see PlayStation like fans that will give a bad review for Xbox games, and then you see it happen the other way around. It just kind of is what it is, and it doesn't really for me. Metacritic is whatever. I mean, play the game and see it for yourself. I thought The Ascent was dope. That got a horrible Metacritic score. I thought Dying Light is a really great game. That got a mid Metacritic score. So if you're playing a game because of a score that somebody else gave, you're not really doing your part to keep it real for everybody. So I don't know. Take this. I say take the score with a grain of salt. Get in there and play it for yourself. You'll have your own rating, and more than likely, a lot of people will see what you're saying, unless it's just something outlandish.
Mm-hmm. What you think, Slow-Mo?
I'm going to repeat what I've always said about Metacritic. Stop paying attention to Metacritic, because here we go. Once again, here's another first-party exclusive for a game, and we see people are making putting a focus in on Stevedore, the Commodores. I don't know what their name is, right? But they always seem to not always, because if you check their actual reviews, they do have some positive reviews for some games, but they always seem to be getting attention with a high profile game and giving it a whack score, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's like here's my main two issues with Metacritic. One is that like people put actually three. what the first one is that people put way too much attention on it, and as Ham said, like no Metacritic score should determine whether you play the game or not. Do you want to play the game? It should be the question. Do you like what you see from it? The only time I care about reviews really is just to make sure that the game isn't a broken, buggy mess at launch. That's what I'm more concerned about. If the game is not playable, that's good to know. I'll save my money and maybe I'll pick it up when they fix it, if they fix it. But as far as determining whether it's a quality game or not, I don't need. I'm a veteran gamer. I've been playing games all my life. I don't need any review to tell me what what my eyes can tell me. Right.
Back in the day, all we had to do was look at the back of the game.
Right, you know, man, we were playing Russian roulette, man. We were just rolling the dice, like, hey, man, the cover of this game look all right. I think I'm gonna give it a shot. You know, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, but I that's one of my issues with Metacritic. My other issue with Metacritic is that they have a weighted average, and so they have, and I actually tweeted about this, and I'll find exactly what they said about that. They have a weighted average in how they determine their scores, and so it's not just a straight up average of all the publications that they determine are worthy enough.
Certain names carry more weight, is what you're saying.
Yeah, certain names carry more weight, and from their actual website, it says why the term weighted average matters. Metascore is a weighted average, and that we assign more importance or weight to some critics and publications than others based on their quality and overall stature. Based upon their quality and overall stature, you already let these publications in. Now there is a criteria or a hierarchy within the ones that you let in. So essentially, an IGN or a GameSpot would have more credibility than the smaller websites like lordsofgaming.net or Level 1 Gaming. Why is their opinion weighted more? And then
especially if they might have better information.
Well, you would think so, but half the time we tune into. Look, I'm not trying to throw no shade on nobody, but half the time I tune into some of these publications' information, and from the people who are doing reviews, and I know some of the stuff they say is wrong. So, like, it's just not like I don't think that it works for me. I don't think they should do a weighted average. And then outside of that, they get some of the review scores wrong. So media publications like Giant Bomb and VentureBeat, they do a 5-star rating. You can't take a 5-star rating and then translate it directly into a 1 out of 10 or a 100 rating system. And this has happened multiple times where a reviewer for Giant Bomb or VentureBeat will give a game a 3 out of 5, which to them is like average. It's an average game. It's not a bad game. It's not a great game, but you should play it. It's an average game. It's cool. But they translate that as a 60 in Metacritic. Is that a 60 game? Did they say that was a 60 game? We know reviewers who have looked at that and said, yeah, that's not how I felt about my game. But these same reviewers will get death threats from crazy fanboys saying you gave that game a 60. And they said, no, I didn't. That's Metacritic. And so, like, just Metacritic is just not that important. I really wish people would just stop caring about it so much. This is going to happen again. It's going to happen again when next month when Gran Turismo 7 comes out. It's going to happen again this fall when Starfield comes out, and whenever the heck Redfall comes out. This just will continue to keep happening because people just focus and give it way more attention than it really deserves. Now about Horizon Forbidden West, I think 89 is a great score.
Yeah. And
I think it's a game that I'm extremely hyped for. I can't wait to play it. I'm gonna stream it tomorrow. But like all this stuff was stuff that I felt in the hype that I had for this game was cemented for me months ago.
Mm-hmm.
And if that Metacritic score came out as a 69, pause. If it was a 69, I would feel no differently about how I'm going to play the game. So
I got a question for the both of you.
Yeah, what's up?
Actually, so with Metacritic, do you think that it would be more digestible if they were to go to a format similar to Game Informer back in the day, when they'd say like gameplay, style, like, you know, they broke it down into
they broke down the
categories,
categories,
1 to
like
10.
ACG, like ACG does that. Yeah, I love ACG
Yeah.
reviews. Yeah,
So do you think that would be more like easier to understand and easier for critics when they go into the game to rate this stuff? Because I feel like I understood that a lot better back in the day, where I was like, well, I'm really into this kind of, you know, I don't really care too much about the story, but I really like the gameplay of games. And like in the Game Informer, it'd tell you like the story's mid, but the gameplay is fire, and you'd want to buy it.
Right.
You know, I do agree with that. I do think that is I would prefer that. As I mentioned with ACG will break down the gameplay, the visuals, the music, the sound, like the sound design. He goes into all those categories, and at the end he does not give you a score. He gives you a recommend, a wait for a sale, or just don't buy, don't even touch it kind of system. I would prefer that over scores, because this is what happens, and it's I understand that how the majority of people are, but it still does a disservice to the actual reviews that these people are putting their time in on, as well as yourself, because you don't even know really what these people, these reviewers are saying. But when someone does a full length review, they spent all this time on it, they wrote it out, they did all this, and they say all these glowing words, they got their degree in English from Darth Mouth or whatever they got it from, and they putting all their SAT words in there, right? They had that thesaurus open the entire time they were doing this review, and all the people did was go to the end and see what the score was, and then they clicked off the review. Because they don't care about any of that. They just want to know what the score is. It's 83, bet.
All right.
And instead of actually reading what the review says, maybe something in there would like actually resonate with you and give you more excited for the review. Maybe something in there would make you actually, let's say if there was something personal that the game was doing politically that you didn't quite care for. Maybe this review could actually let you know about that ahead of time. But no, people just go to the end and just go, what's the score? They gave it a 60? The hell? Like, I'm like, did you read the review and see what they said? It's like, it does a disservice to everyone. To the people who don't know what the reviewer actually said, as well as the reviewer who spent a bunch of time on it and didn't actually get anyone who read his review because all they cared about was the 9 out of 10 at the end.
Yeah. That's
How
true.
about you?
So yeah, definitely change
Forte?
it.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Yeah, as soon as I saw it, I was like, man, because I literally jumped into a stream that Luca was doing, and I didn't even, because usually during the week, I'm not really paying attention to Twitter, and then I didn't know that the reviews had released that day. So all of a sudden I see Luca talking about reviews and stuff, and I'm like, oh, okay. So somebody must didn't like the low reviews that Horizon Forbidden West was getting. And then when I looked at it, I was like, oh yeah, some people are giving it 60s and 65s, where the vast majority of everybody was giving it 95 plus. And to me, this is nothing new. You know, we always had, these news outlets basically giving their takes and stuff, and a lot of them are giving like crazy reviews on something. They'll say, oh, we love this and we love that, and the one thing they hate is like one sentence, but they give it a 6 out of 10 or a 7 out of 10, or the way that Metacritic interprets it, that's how they end up seeing it. I just look at it as like, and I said it on Luca's show, tell me when PlayStation Lifestyle gave a PlayStation game anything less than a 9.5. You tell you if you can point that out to me, then I won't have nothing else to say, because there's always going to be an entity out there that's going to give a score based on just straight up bias. You know, Xbox has it too with Xbox Universe. You know, I think they gave Halo Infinite a 9.5, or they may have gave it 100 or something like that. I don't know. But you know, you have these publications that do stuff like this. So if you expect it to happen on the high end, don't you expect it to happen on the lower end too? I do understand that some of these are kind of, you know, it seems kind of spooky that some publications give Xbox games way higher scores than they ever give a PlayStation game. Like we were talking about the Sevier or whatever their name is, their thing is, and that has been the case in Survivor. So that has been the case there. Someone put up a nice little mock of everything they did, but I did see some reviews where Last of Us got 9.5 from them and stuff. So, you know, in general, this is, you shouldn't be listening to anybody's opinion anyway. You could use other people's opinion to come to a solution where you can use your own opinion with that opinion to see if you agree with those opinions, but you should never take anybody else's opinions. I don't care how much they play a game or anything like that. Like, I play Destiny every day. I don't expect somebody to take my word for them saying like, oh, the single player or the story missions in Destiny are amazing now. No, you go in there and try it for yourself, and if you do like it, then you listen to what I have to say, and you'll say, yeah, he was definitely right about that, or I agree with that. You know, it should never be, I bought this because of what somebody else said. No, if you were going to buy it, or you was going to play it, or you were going to experience it, it should have already been it should have been something that was on your radar anyway. Now, I'm not going to say that games don't just sneak up. We know Sekiro actually snuck up on a lot of people, and people went out and bought it because it ended up being a Game of the Year winner. So people went out and bought it off the notoriety of what it did that year. That's completely different from looking at just a review and someone telling you that, oh, this game is good. No, that's something completely different, and you have to quantify that for yourself. And once people stop doing that, they won't be in their feelings when somebody like Survivor gives it a 6.5 out of 10 when that really doesn't matter. I just truly think it's more of this list war. You know, how many games can Sony get into the 90s versus what Xbox can get into the 90s? And when Horizon Forbidden West is sitting at an 89, it takes away some of that thunder. It's not a 90, you know, and it could still hit a 90. I don't know. I mean, maybe at this point it might be too late, 'cause I think a lot of the reviews are already out, but we do got some review in progress that haven't hit yet. But that's what I think this is more, you know, an issue with. But I do feel for some developers where they have these numbers they have to hit in order to get like bonuses and stuff, because that stuff is tied to Metacritic. You know, Sony has come out and said that they look at Metacritic as one of those barometers that your game has to hit when it comes to how we're gonna like pay you out in like extra bonuses and stuff like that. And these people put a lot of time and effort into these games, and you know, anybody that looks at this game can definitely tell that there was a lot of love and care put into it, and a lot of the things that people had issues with looks like they really took all those things to heart to fix. So I definitely want this game to do as great as it is, but even if it was an 8.9 or a 9.5 or even a 7.2, I would still play the game, because I played games that were 5.0s, and guess what? To me, they were like 7s, and they were way better than what people were saying they were. And that's all that should really matter to you. But that's all I really have to say on it. Do you guys have anything else you want to say? Anything you want to bring up on it?
I did want to add, and I've heard this before. Someone in the chat also said, I think it was Jay in the chat, said that that some people's issue is that somehow this game improved in every single aspect over the last game, but still got the same score. I would challenge that a little bit. Some of my criticisms of Horizon Zero Dawn, I see some of those same criticisms in some of the reviews that I've read in regards to Aloy herself, as far as her character development, her character growth. As far as the story pacing, I thought the pacing of Horizon Zero Dawn was did the story a disservice. The story is very good. I think it's a very good story that's told poorly. I've said this before about Horizon Zero Dawn, and that if they paced the story better, that a lot of the people who tried the game and then dropped it because they got bored would not have dropped the game. And I've seen some of that reflected in some of the reviews. So I'm not saying that's the case, because I haven't played it yet, and I will know for certain for myself tomorrow, whether that's the case or not. But that, in regards to some of the side missions, should have been more. At least the rewards of some of these side missions should have been reflected in the main missions. And I mean, really, that's really about the only criticisms I really had. The melee combat, they definitely improved on that based off of what I've seen. But and the visuals were already great before, and they're even better now. But just like we can't definitively say, especially us as people who haven't reviewed the game,
Right.
that they improved on every single aspect of this game, of a game that we haven't played yet. So yeah, you just can't do that.
And keep in mind, this is a new generation and a new game that is like from its predecessor. So it's supposed to be a little bit better. I mean that's what sequel is supposed to do. It's supposed to be a little bit better. It's not supposed to blow the Metacritic score out of the water.
It's hard to do that, by the way.
Exactly. I mean, look at
you're doing like stuff like
Dying
Mass
Light.
Effect 2.
Dying Light
Mass
is a
Effect 2
perfect-
did that.
Dying Light's a perfect example of that. You'll go down the Metacritic and see people say, "Oh, this is a lot better than the last game. This game looks phenomenal. It plays really well. I'm gonna give it a 77." Doesn't make sense to me why they would say that and then give that score. But at the same time, I'm not taking Metacritic too serious because I know that they half the time, actually not half, 99% of the time, I have a different score for the game personally than Metacritic ever does.
Yeah. So
I just want to say I haven't done a review on my YouTube channel in a long time. I only got like 5 reviews that I've done in the 2 years that I've been doing content creation on my channel. But I'm just looking at my. I don't think I ever gave a score for any of these games. I just gave a recommendation or a recommend to play or a recommend not to play.
That's how I do my reviews too. I'm like on a play or run away kind of thing. Like, should you play this or should you not? Or if you're this type of person, you'll enjoy it. But if you're not, then you might like it.
Yeah, definitely. I think I did one review. I did it for Hellblade because it was like a game that spoke to me, and I just wanted to talk about it. So since I didn't have nobody to talk to at the time, I said, "Well, I'll just make a review and talk about it." And it was I adore that freaking game. But shout out to DJ Oris with the $2 super chat saying, basically, I love you, bro. Yo, shout out to you, bro. Can't wait to jump in Destiny with you next week. It's going to be fire. We gonna be in that mug, lighting it up, and it's gonna be a good time. Shout out to Rob the Don with the $10 super chat. Hold up, sorry I'm late. Bandai Namco and Sony, what? If Sony did buy, how's that not a monopoly with anime and manga? They would literally
manga.
Did I say? Oh, I said manga. Yeah, manga. Yeah, sorry. I don't listen. I don't. Yeah, whatever. They would literally control the market on digital distribution and anime in the gaming side. He's absolutely right because they got Funimation, they got Crunchyroll. That literally they would, in a different way, especially when it comes to a digital marketplace, that would be the one-stop shop for everything.
That still wouldn't be a monopoly on distribution. No, because even though they may have Funimation and Crunchyroll, Netflix is big in anime. So is Hulu. You can get anime from a multitude of different other platforms that are way bigger than both Crunchyroll and Funimation's subscriber bases combined. And Bandai Namco just does games. Anime, like translations of animes into games, right?
Yeah, they don't really.
Yeah, I mean, like that would be. I don't think anyone would consider that a monopoly. Like they don't look at like small micro markets like that for monopolies. They're looking more on a grander scale in regards to that. But we appreciate the super chat. We didn't think it was that they're acquiring them anyway. So
it's more of a partnership we believe that we just haven't seen yet, or basically just Elden Ring. promotion. Shout out
Right.
to DJ Oris once again with the $2 super chat. Says DPS is a 99 on Metacritic. Yo, listen.
Facts.
Now, if you want to listen to anything, that's it. You can still, if you feel like the show's a 99 out of 100, make sure you hit the like button and sub to the channel. Make sure you sub to my homeboy Slow-Mo Backslap too. And we also have in the description Ham Solo's Twitter, and we have his YouTube stuff down there. So please check out his content. And if you like it, make sure you give him a follow over there. But yeah, 99 in my heart. I appreciate that, bro. But with that being said, guys, let's move over to the other thing that happened this week around Horizon Forbidden West, which is the pricing situation. So as of right now, we know that Sony did backtrack on wanting to not give people free updates for the PS4 version to the PS5 version. That was something that they promised in June of last year. And then they kind of tried to change that up and not do it earlier, like towards the end of the year, which they reverted on again. But now it seems that if you was to be on a PS5 system, that if you were to look for the PS4 version on your system, that's nowhere to be found. Only thing that you could buy is the digital deluxe edition for $79 or the PS5 native version for $69, which doesn't look like a PS4 version at all to me, Slow-Mo. So why won't you tell me and the rest of the people in the chat what's going on here?
What's going on here is Sony said, yeah, we'll give you a free upgrade if you can find it. Can you find
just
the free
pull up
upgrade?
that app on your phone. You can find it
It's
there.
Where's Waldo? It's the Where's Waldo of games. Can you find that PS4 version? If you can find it, you'll get the reward. You'll get that free upgrade. Until then, hey, we got a game. We got a version for you. That's $10 more. And look. I mean, jokes aside, they know how this works, right? And what they know is that they can get people who the vast majority, like the Horizon Zero Dawn, sold 20 million copies over PlayStation 4 and PC. 20 million copies. Not all 20 million of those people are as informed as the people on this panel and in this chat. There are guaranteed the vast majority of the people who played the previous game and enjoyed it have no idea what Jim Ryan said, have no idea that Jim Ryan promised a free upgrade, have no idea that they tried to pretend like that didn't happen, had no idea they walked that back and said they'll guarantee a free upgrade. They don't know any of this stuff. All they know is there's a new Horizon game coming out, because I keep seeing the commercials for it. Every time I turn on my app to watch my TV show or whatever, and they do a commercial right before the TV show starts, I see Horizon. Or every time I run a YouTube video, I see that commercial for that game again, and I want to play the game. And so they go, and then they get the game. They don't look any further into it. And Sony knows that. And so, yes, they're honoring what they said they would do. We'll give you a free upgrade. We're just not going to advertise the version that we got to give a free upgrade. We're not even going to make it real easy for you to find that version. I literally just went on the website right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I clicked. I saw they had a little box for this is just the website, not the PlayStation, but on the website, they had a box for Horizon Forbidden West. I clicked on it, and it says pre-order, and it says $69.99. And I don't see any different versions here. Like I'm looking for where's the PS4 version. Here, bam, there it is, all the way at the bottom. I finally found it though. So yeah, there is the version at the bottom that you can and for me it says pre-ordered already because I already did this. But like there's just like the actual version for the PS4 standard version. You gotta scroll all the way at the bottom. They don't have that up at the top where you can hit pre-order. Is anyone going to do that? Because I'm specifically looking for the PS4 version to get the free upgrade. Other people are just going to log in, see the game, see the words pre-order or tomorrow, buy, and just buy it. And they know that. And so that they're gonna get their money regardless. Is what we get. What I'm trying to say here is they're gonna get their money regardless.
What about you, Ham? What do you think about all this craziness?
I think it's a little scummy, just a little bit, because I feel like if you're going to advertise it to the people that know, then I feel like everybody should be able to easily find that same price. But Slow Mo's right. Like a lot of the people won't know the difference, and then by the time they make that purchase, they're like, "Oh, that was just $10. No big deal. It's it's only $10." So, I mean, I personally don't like how hard it is to find it because I was just like slow mo. I was like, man, I heard this was $60. Why can't I find it on my PS5? And
It's
it's
where's
like,
Waldo, man.
yeah.
There's a reward if you find it. It's definitely up
I
there.
had to go. I had to go onto my phone, onto the PlayStation app on my phone, look it up through there, buy the PS4 version. But the one thing that's pretty whack is I have to wait for the game to release to get the patch to download that.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can't like if I bought the $70 version, if I would have paid the extra $10, I could have had that already downloaded, ready to go. I think either way isn't there a day one patch anyways?
Yes.
Probably is. There's a day one patch for literally almost every game that's ever existed now. In the I say every game, but most modern games get a day one pack. So like more than likely there will be.
Yeah, but one of the reasons I say this is scummy to me, particularly, is just the way that they advertise this from the get-go, and it doesn't really feel like they learned anything at all because they're still throwing the $70 version in our face, even though they kind of said it'd be the same price as the PlayStation version. So I think it's a little disrespectful. But will they lose anything out of this? Absolutely not. They're still going to keep that, train moving. It's doing just fine. But I personally don't like it because if you remember when they first talked about the prices, there was the $60 PS4 version. There was the $70 PS5 version. And then what threw me for a loop that I was just like, man, this doesn't make any sense, is that they had an $80 version for the old system and the PS5. And it's like, wait a second, you're charging me $10 more for worse quality. How do you do that? And they were proud when they said, "Oh, well, we got these prices out for you and check them out." Get it? And like the Regala, I understood that because it's a collector. There's always going to be that expensive collector. I was like, oh, that's cool. Not for me, but that's cool. Then they had the $199 one, and I was like, that's cool too. If I was going to spend that kind of money, I'd just go for the $250 one. But the $80 one was the one that just made me just like, what's going on here? Like, why would anybody want to pay $10 extra just to be able to pop it in their PS4 and get worse resolution, worse frames? Why would I want to pay for that?
Wait a minute, did he just say R&D? He said Sony will plant a tree for everyone who can find the PS4 version on the PS5.
Did you hear about that
they
too?
They ain't gonna be planting no trees because it ain't there.
Oh.
They straight excommunicate that thing right off the system. They was like, yo, listen. Brat called me, Enrique. Shout out to Brat. He called me this morning. It was like, yo, Forte, I know you clown me every once in a while, but can you please tell me how I could get Horizon Forbidden West for $60? I was like, bro, you got to log into you go into your phone. I can't do it on the system. No, you have to log into the PlayStation Store on your phone to find, and then click find Horizon Forbidden West. And when you click on it, it's going to give you the option that's going to say PS4 Standard or PlayStation 5 Standard or Deluxe. Click on PS4 Standard. And he clicked on, he's like, oh yeah, it does. It says PS4, PS5 free upgrade. I was like, yes, buy that one. Buy that one.
Tuck that in.
I said, buy that one. It doesn't even give you that. It's not even the option unless you click on it. And I see Chris Singleton, he says, no, He said, yeah, the PS4 version isn't on the console, but he also says that Jiffy Lube will have me pay full price for my oil change if I got to go to the site to get that $15 off coupon is business. No, you're right. In that regard, I will give you that when it comes to something like that you got to go to the website, but it wasn't advertised that you were doing this before that. It's like if Sony would have never came out and said anything about a free upgrade, you're absolutely right. It wouldn't have been no situation where they're like, oh, well, you know, you got to go to the website to get this free coupon that we told you can get. No, they just said if you have a PS4 version, you could upgrade to the PS5 version for free. They didn't say you got to go through 1,000 different hoops to find something like someone said, find Waldo to get what you basically are owed.
You have to run the gauntlet. You have to run the gauntlet.
They put
to
themselves,
get this version.
they put themselves in a situation they didn't need to put themselves in. It's like for some reason it just comes off as like, I hate saying like companies are tone deaf, but it just comes off like you're trying to find every way to like put this off on the consumer. No, you made a mistake. Eat the mistake. Just eat the mistake. Yeah, it's going to cost you however many copies of $10 per game. You know, and that's the thing, though. I don't think that many people was going to take advantage of it anyway.
They are eating the mistake. They're just finding loopholes and taking advantage of loopholes. Like, look, we don't
I feel like they're making
have,
us eat part of it.
Of the mistake, though.
What they're doing is that they are offering you the standard version. You just gotta find it, and once you find it, then you take advantage. Look. No, I'm not defending them. What I'm saying is that, like,
so basically, they gave you an option to be able to find it. You just got to be like, oh, it's not on the system, though.
Yeah, it's down. Where is it? Is it on the app? On the website?
Let me go.
Or on the PlayStation?
Let's go.
You know, like, and look, it's crazy, but you know, they're legal. They're like, there's no one that's going to be like class action lawsuit on Sony. Darn it! Like, how could you? No, because there's nothing to sue them about. We know they didn't want to do this. The whole entire gaming community came together and was like, this is not what you said you were going to do. You better honor your word. And they said, oh, you're right. You got it. Because that could have been a class action lawsuit because they said they would do it. And then they said they weren't going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But Jim Ryan hit us like, homie, meet me in the back after we close. like that's the feeling I kind of get from it. Like, I don't get that. Like, you know, we made the mistake. Everybody needs to be able to take advantage of, you know, this situation that we actually said that we were going to do. But instead, it's like, if you're in the club, you can get the deal. But if you're not in the club, sorry.
Man, if you got PlayStation Plus, we'll give you a deal. But nope, you still got to find it on the store that's not on the PlayStation store. You got to go somewhere else.
Hey, if you found a PS5 at this point, you can find that $60 game. That ain't no problem.
Okay, sounds good. But shout out to the poll. Put up a poll. How much did you pay for Horizon Zero? I keep calling it Zero Dawn. Forbidden West. Nobody's bought the regalia, or they just don't want to admit it. Probably one or two people's bought that $200 version. Shame on all the people that bought that $69 one for the $79 one. Unless you got the digital deluxe, but even then, you could have got it for $69 if you would have did the regular version. Shout out to you guys. 44% of the people said they did that, and another 44% saw the light. It was like, they ain't getting me, or they probably still on PS4 and don't have a PS5 yet, so they had no choice. But yeah, that's cool, man. That's really cool. But I just think it's tone deaf as heck. But you know, capitalism 101, man. And you get away, you get away what you can get away with. And you take the shots that you can take, because if you don't take them, you miss every last one of them. And it looks like they're taking a major shot right now. And Jim Ryan is really acting like a financial guru, because he's out here making people pay more money for stuff that they don't have to. But it is what it is. I understand it, but that is it for. Who's playing it tonight? Anybody? I know you're playing it tonight, Ham.
We
And
still got one more topic, man.
I know, no, we still got one more. I was saying, but I said who's playing? I'm still on Horizon. Who's playing it tonight? You playing tonight, Ham?
Yeah.
What about you, Slomo?
Oh yeah.
I'm probably not. I'm probably I got more work to do for my job after the show, and once I'm done with that, I'm probably gonna go to sleep.
Got you. All right, cool. Well, let's move over to our last topic, which which is really funny because I know Slow-Mo does not like the way that topic is named. Ubisoft is up for sale. Who will purchase them? So Slow-Mo, I will give you the floor so you can enlighten us on exactly what's going on here.
What's going on here is that they're not for sale, and all they said was, we feel that we can go on independently in this season of acquisitions with no problem, but you know, in the interest of our investors, if someone wants to make us an offer, please do so. And what that says here is that, look, if you want to, what they're doing is they're negotiating. They're open to being acquired for the right price. And frankly, anybody, any company, well, most companies, I don't think Take-Two ever is, but most of these companies are open to being acquired for the right price. If Microsoft would have come to Ubisoft and pay 50% more than what their current stock price is per share to acquire them, I think they'd be fine with that. But does Microsoft want to do that? Is that do they feel that's a worthwhile investment or not? Who knows? All that said, what they're saying is that they're not going to basically turn away a ton of money if that's what is going to, if someone's willing to make that price. But otherwise, they're good. They're good exactly how they are. And I mean, we complain a lot about the quality of Ubisoft's games, but Ubisoft is making money. Ubisoft is, they complain about games that didn't sell well or didn't meet sales expectations. But even unlike Activision Blizzard, Ubisoft's stock price recovered after their scandals. So even though people are still upset with them, still expect them to do better and want them to actually deal with the multitude of internal issues they got going on in their nearly 3 dozen studios that they have, that are very similar to the issues that Activision and Blizzard have had. But yeah, I mean, like, there's no state that's like forcing them to honor labor laws. They're not being sued. You know, it's even though it's similar situations to Activision Blizzard, it's not exactly the same because legally there's no one legally coming after them. So yeah, I just don't think that they're trying to get acquired. But what they are putting it out there is that if someone wants to give us a price that we like, we're not going to say no.
You know what that sounds like to me, Slomo?
What's that?
It sounds like you are putting yourself up for sale. That's what that sounds like.
That's not the same thing.
It is the same thing. If you're up here willing to say, like, that's just like me asking, like, oh, you know, are you in an open relationship? And then all of a sudden I say, are you willing to do this and do that? And then you say, but you know, I just want to make sure that I review the situation before I agree to it. The fact that you said that you are willing to do this means you are willing to sell it, or you are willing to have something happen in this open relationship that I might be willing to acquiesce to. That means you were complicit with it, meaning it can happen.
No, that's
yes,
none of that is what it means. No, that's not what it means.
So
yes, it can happen. Does that mean you are saying that you want it to happen?
No, we're not saying that. We're not saying you want it to happen. We're just saying that once you put that's just like you saying you that's just like thinking about saying you want to retire. Once you start saying you are thinking of retiring, you're pretty much already semi-retired because it's on your mind already. You might want to stick around.
That's not at all what they were saying.
You might want to stick around and play
Forte,
another
did they
year or
say
so.
we are thinking about selling?
No,
they didn't say that.
No, they said they would be willing to sell as long as they could keep their independence, but they would have to review any offerings that retain to that.
Pull up the article. Where the article at? Pull it up.
Oh my god.
Pull up the article.
Where's this?
You said pull up. This is great.
Article. Jesus Christ.
I want to look exactly at what they stated, because you out here putting words in their mouth and saying things, man. They can't wait to be sold. What do you have the topic as? Ubisoft is up for sale. Who would up for sale?
They're up for sale.
There's a for sale sign outside the Ubisoft headquarters. No,
it is.
That's not what's going on.
Probably for the building. They want to move to it.
That's what I was telling you in the green room earlier. Is like
check
Activision.
the fellowship, slow-mo.
Yeah. After that Activision thing happened, a whole lot of big companies looked around like, hey, if you throwing that kind of money around, I'll have me.
Okay, I'm reading it now. All right. Okay. So
go ahead. Just read it.
Guillemot. Is that how you say his name? The CEO. Guillemot.
Who know? You're asking the wrong person.
I'm definitely asking. I'm asking Ham. I'm not asking
okay,
you.
Good.
It's Guillemot right here.
Still asking the wrong person.
Okay, we go. The CEO. Eves. His first name is Eves. We got that one right. We have always taken decisions in the interest of our stakeholders. Always. Keyword there. Which are our employees, players, and shareholders. Ubisoft can remain independent. We have the talent, the financial scale, and a large portfolio of original IPs. Having said that, if there were an offer to buy us, the board of directors would, of course, review it in the interest of all stakeholders. This is clearly a response to a question that was asked of them about acquisitions.
Okay.
And his response is, we have always taken these decisions in the interest of our share, always, which even before this seasons of acquisition, this is what our stance has been.
Okay.
We can be independent because he mentioned the financial scale of things. He mentioned their large portfolio and their talent. We're good. But having said that, if there was an offer, we would go to the board of directors and let them review said offer. That doesn't mean that we're going to take it.
Right.
He went on to say we have high value assets. We have the scale to remain independent and create very meaningful value in the future because we have scale in terms of our workforce, engineering, technology, IPs, and engaged communities.
Y'all don't got deli anymore, so y'all losing.
I feel like that sentence specifically says, if you really want us,
this is what you get.
Yeah, exactly. You got it.
No, that's true. He is setting the stage. He's like, if whatever price that you come to us with, you better have listed numbers for a value for every single bullet points that I just mentioned. Because that's what's gonna take for us to buy. Look, as I said, any company can be bought,
right?
But is it gonna be for a price where did you overpay? Because then at that point, like, look, you can get any one of these companies to sell if you make it the price worth it enough for them. Absolutely, they'll take your money, they'll retire. Or, the people in leadership will go make another company with the money that you gave.
Forte, slow-mo. Everything that you just said sounds like you're saying he's there for sale, though. They're just saying they're for sale for a high
price.
Dollar price.
Once
you read this to me.
Listen,
and at no point did he say we are looking to sell the company.
Slow-mo. Once you
Does he have to say
he
that?
doesn't have to say
Yes.
that's no slow-mo.
Yes.
Listen,
No, there's a difference. There's a difference. There's
What?
a difference here. Okay, let me tell you what the difference is. When you say we are looking to sell the company, you are now opening the store up. You are now opening to take bids. You're trying to create a bidding war at that point.
you don't
What
hear
he's saying is that we are not open to selling the company, but if you really want to buy us, you're gonna have to make it worth our while.
Please help me
Any
make
company
please
in
make
the
that make
world,
let me
sense.
ask you a question,
Slow-mo.
Let me
any
ask you a
company
question,
in the
Slow-mo.
world, can I finish what I'm saying?
Yeah, you can go ahead.
Any
Slow-mo.
company in the world would say the exact same thing. Make it worth my while. You ever see a movie where like the rich person shows up to some random guy's house, and he's just like, "Yeah, I want this house, bro." And he's like, "Well, my house ain't up for sale, man. Get off my front step." And he's like, "Oh, okay. How about this price?" And the dude's like, "Honey, we're moving. Get the kids. We're getting the hell out of here." He wasn't willing to sell, but he was given a price that he didn't think his house was worth, and he wasn't going to give that up.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's a movie, but it's the same idea.
Okay.
The idea is that they're not up for sale, but if somebody wants to overpay for us drastically, we will damn sure get out of this business.
I got it.
But that to me says we're in
the business
for
to sell.
I mean, come on, slow-mo.
Ham. You have to understand, they are answering a question in an interview about acquisition. It's not like they said we're holding a press conference.
It's not like they
We
said,
gotta say
let's
this.
not talk about that either. Like he was
But no,
willing to
my
talk about
question
it.
is-
He
Say,
wouldn't be a good businessman if he didn't address it the way he did.
You don't think 2K has had this conversation asked to them? I ain't heard 2K come out saying anything about them being up for sale or the
2K, first of all, 2K can't say whether it could be sold or not because they are owned by Take-Two.
Well, no, I mean,
And
I meant to say Take-Two,
and
not
Take-Two,
2K. Take-Two.
Take-Two is worth about 10 times as much as
but
Ubisoft.
still, but this stuff. Well, you said
There's
any
only
company,
one company.
you said-
There's only one company that can afford
No, there's
to
more.
buy
No,
them in the
there's-
gaming industry.
There's a couple. Three.
Who?
There's 2 or 3.
Who?
Tencent
Who?
can afford them. If Apple,
No, they can't.
Yes.
Tencent can't.
No,
Tencent
well, no.
cannot
I mean, not
afford
Tencent. Apple. If Apple wanted to get in, or Amazon wanted to get in, and Microsoft
Apple don't care. Amazon don't care.
Listen.
And Google, we already know Google don't ain't about that life.
Listen, all I'm saying is you don't hear them coming out. Just now, you want a caveat if I say hey, it's only one person with big enough pockets to buy Take-Two. Listen, the fact that
They know that.
but the fact that they still can come out and say the same thing, and if they was to say the same thing, that would raise an eyebrow. Like, huh?
No,
What?
it wouldn't.
Microsoft.
No, it wouldn't.
Microsoft. What you going? What's the move? If listen, once you put it out there,
Hold on.
put it out there. Go ahead.
Straight Duval says, slow-mo, would you sell your wife and kids? Yes or no? What's the price? What's the price, bro?
Price? No,
What's the
there
price,
is
man?
No price.
No.
It's
What's
no
the
price. There's no. I'm answering that question for him right now.
What's the price?
Mrs.
What's the
Mrs.
price?
Backslap and children of Backslap. I'm answering that
Make
question.
your offer.
There is no price that Slow-Mo would sell his family for.
It's really high. Let me tell you right now.
It's really high.
It's extremely high.
There's
lots
no
of
dollar.
zeros.
There's no
lots of
There's
zeros.
no dollars.
I'm telling you, like I'm talking phone number digits, okay? Like a phone number with zip code digits, okay? That's the kind of numbers I'm talking here. But hey, look, if you want to pay that price, hey, honey, time to go.
Oh my god.
Bruh.
See, this is Slow-Mo. This is Slow-Mo literally throwing his family under the bus to make a point. Like I will sell my family to make this point.
Oh, man.
I'm not selling my family, Slow-Mo. Like he said,
I'm
stop
not
it.
alone.
You would.
And I know Forte would. Forte would do it for 3 years of Destiny season passes. I know he would.
No. I love listen. I love my wife. I look at pictures of my kids every day. The moment that I was to sell them is the moment I am not walking this earth anymore. Lift just telling you that straight up. There is some non-negotiables in life, and that's one of them, Slow-Mo. So you need to stop the cap. And that's why Straight Duvall said, he said, stop it. You wouldn't. There is no debate. There's no debate on that, bro. You will not do that.
It's a silly question. I would not, no one would sell their family. Our families aren't corporations, and nor are they for sale. I can't sell my wife.
But the moment you put the word,
it's not a good. It's not a good. It's not a good.
It is, but that's the thing. All we're saying, I'm not saying. I, in all honesty, I agree with you. But once you put out a statement talking about acquisitions and talking about what you
they didn't put out a statement. They answered the question. It's very different.
But once you put out a statement talking about it that wasn't out there for people to dissect in the first place, then you start thinking about it. And now once you put it out there for people to think about it, it's like, well, if you really wasn't in any time or frame or even thinking about selling, you would never say it. Just like we said, Take-Two, we say every developer and every publisher has a number. Take-Two, we know they have a really big number, but you haven't heard them come out and say anything about, oh, we're going to sell. We never thought about selling.
To spend that kind of money. Take-Two will be up like, there, if not
above Activision, probably.
Yeah, like, so no, there's no one that's willing to spend that amount, period. It just they know that. There's just no purpose in even. That's why no one's even asked them the question. Unlike Ubisoft, who's had all these issues, unlike Ubisoft, who is barely, I think they might be the same size as far as revenue goes as Square Enix, or I have to double check that. They might be bigger than Square Enix, but they're smaller than, they would cost less than ZeniMax Media did, I think. So like, that's different. It's a different category. They are affordable for Sony and Microsoft. Mm-hmm. It's a relevant question that was asked of them. If that interviewer didn't ask that question, would we be even having this conversation right now? No, because they wouldn't have even broached it. They would not have said, it's not like they were talking to their investors and saying, hey, look, man, look, we get the right price, you know what's up.
Yeah.
we bought the all cash out here. No. They weren't taught. This wasn't an investor call. This wasn't anything like that. They were asked questions, and they answered the questions from Video Game Chronicles. They told them, "Hey, look, we are independent. We want to remain independent, and we don't need to be sold." But
they didn't
all
say
the talent we got.
They didn't say
look
that.
Look at the workforce. Look at the IP. You know what it is.
But they didn't say that though. You just put words about you. Like, if I would agree, if they would have came out and said something like, well, just to answer that question, they would have said, well, we're not looking to sell, but this would be the process that we would look into if we were willing to sell. We would, do this, do that. We would evaluate the offer, talk to our shareholders about it, talk about the IPs and stuff, or the infrastructure and the development that we could actually bring to that, that entity that wants to purchase us. But the fact that he just came out and just said, well, he basically put out like an article, or not even an article. He actually put out like a letterhead of everything that we can do for you in this interview by saying, well, if you want to purchase it, this is what we have. We have 10,000 associates that work really, really hard, and we build some of the biggest and best games in the industry and all this other crazy stuff. It was like a big,
selling.
It was like a big ad read. So the fact that he said it the way he said it, just comes off like, okay, we know you're not really looking to sell, but the fact that you put this out there lets us know that if somebody comes with a high enough number, Ubisoft's going to sell no matter what.
And that doesn't mean that they are looking. It's all about intention. The fact that if someone hits them with a large enough number that they would sell does not mean prior to that they were looking to be sold. Those are two different things.
They should have released this statement over the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl. This is how much this cost. It was like a $10,000 ad read right here. Basically everything he said. Like, hey,
Kizu said. Look, Kizu. They basically said that. He said they could have been like, we are looking to sell, but we'll consider offers. That's literally basically what he said. He
did not say we are not looking to sell. He did not say we. If he would have started that conversation like, well, just to answer that question, but we're not really looking to sell. But if we were to sell, these are the things that we would be looking at from the offer from whoever's trying to buy us. But he didn't start the conversation that way. Like, listen, you told me a long time ago, Slow-Mo, words matter. Things that come out your mouth matter. And if you want people to not take stuff to the nth degree, you come out and you caveat everything like you normally do. Like Phil Spencer. Phil Spencer comes out and tells people words like desire and stuff like this. And we're gonna, games where Game Pass lives and stuff like that until he has to come out and give you a definitive place of where things are gonna be at. But it's like wordsmithing. He didn't wordsmith anything. He literally just told you exactly what they're going to do if an opportunity like that pops up.
He was definitely wordsmithing this.
Are you assuming that he was wordsmithing this?
Yeah,
it sounded like a little truth or dare situation.
Yes, exactly.
Like,
I agree.
Where it's like, all right, you chose dare. Well, I dare you to buy us because this is what you got to pay for.
And look, and C. They would love for someone to spend like 50% more than what they're worth. Like, of course, you got to pay a premium anyway, right? Because you're not going to get someone to sell for the exact net worth. Like, they're not going to make anything off of it, right? But if you're going to spend well more than what they're worth, really make their while. This is what we're talking about, right? We're not talking about like somebody buying them for $6 billion. Like, that isn't making it worth their while. We're talking about somebody buying them for like 10 billion, 11 billion. That's making it worth their while. At that point now, they're like, the board of directors are saying, let's call an emergency meeting and discuss this because we can all retire right now.
You think Activision would have sold if their stock didn't take the $50 per share? Do you think they would have sold? I think they sold because they were literally getting $95 per share back, 45% markup.
They yes, that is true. They definitely did sell because they got, even though they still didn't make as much off of the sale as they would have, say, a year earlier, because what Microsoft bought per share was less than what their share price was year earlier
before everything happened and stuff.
So, but it was like a 40% premium over what the price was at that time, which was still a great deal for them.
Yeah.
All that said, like this is, they went to Microsoft for that. They were shopping the company. That's when you're looking to be sold. Like what you put here in the topic. You're up for sale. Activision Blizzard King was up for sale because they shopped them to Apple, then shopped them to Microsoft before they got a deal done. Ubisoft, to quote their CFO Frederick Duguay, we will not speculate on why people haven't made any offer. No one's made them an offer, and they're not looking to. And clearly, by that if they were going to people to make an offer, they would have said so. It's a drastic difference here, and all they're saying is that we're not. Look, we can be independent. We can remain independent. We're not hurting here. When they say things like that, we can remain independent. We're not hurting. Like, we're not like in a position where, man, we gotta sell because we might go under.
Right.
We can remain independent. We can remain self-sufficient because we're making money and we're good. They even talked about how great their relationship is with Nintendo, and how the Nintendo brand's been very fruitful for them in the past few years.
Yeah.
But if someone's going to make a crazy offer, we would be dummies not to take it.
All right. Well, Slow-Mo, we're going to agree to disagree on this topic because
we spent 30 minutes arguing about this.
Literally, we're not going to get anywhere with this. I mean, like I said, I do agree with you to the extent that I don't think that it's not that they want to be purchased, but once I just think it's just the overall optics of it. Once you put out a statement like that without any type of caveat to it, you're pretty much saying that you want to be purchased. It's just what's the dollar amount going to be. And
why you still got? You just want to have the last word. Fine, have the last word. Go ahead.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you. So, listen, guys. Shout out to Percolator 9000 with the $5 super chat. Are you for sale? Slow-mo backslap. I bid $2. LOL. Have a great show.
This man spent more money on the super chat than he's bidding for me.
I just realized that.
Yeah, make it make sense. Disrespectful, Perk. Very disrespectful.
Well, shout out to everybody in the chat. If you want, you could bid right now and tell us how much you'd be willing to spend for slow-mo backslap.
I am a priceless person. Okay, I cannot be bought, okay?
To me, you are priceless, Larry, and I appreciate you. But yeah, man, this let's get everybody up out of here, man, because we got Horizon coming out in 30 minutes. We kept you guys as close to 30 minutes away from the game coming out as we wanted to. So shout out to you guys, so you can get ready to jump into that beautiful world and play Turok with dinosaurs as a female. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be fun.
Wow, that is not what that game is. Go ahead.
Well, I always look at that game when I say, man, dog, this is what Turok could have been, but it's better. But listen, great show, really great conversations, and we got into a couple of arguments today, so we don't get into as many arguments as we used to, but I always appreciate everything that you bring to the show. So for you, please let everybody know where they can find you, what you got going on in your channel, Slow-mo, and what's next for you.
Well, I'm still working on videos as usual. Hopefully I'll have a couple of those out really, really soon. Tomorrow, you should find me lunchtime with Slow-mo going live with some Horizon Forbidden West, as long as I figure out how to install the the PS5 version from the PS4 standard version. And hopefully it'll be readily available for me to download with no problems. And in addition to that, man, just playing my games and hanging out with people and discussing things with people on Twitter. So, come check me out. We'll have a conversation, have a good time.
Absolutely.
Great show for us. And Ham.
Yeah, definitely. Yes, and DPS Podcast episode 72 will be on his channel next week. So make sure you go over to his channel and sub to that. Follow him on Twitter and everything, so you can know when all that stuff is going down. Ham Solo. Man, great doing a show with you for the first time. Can't wait to have you on again and talk more games with you. It's been amazing. Please tell everybody where they can find you and what you got going on your channel next.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you guys so much for having me on the show. It was great. I laughed a lot. This is probably the first podcast that I laughed so much and there wasn't there wasn't an awkward reason to laugh. Which I'm not going to dive into that while we're on camera, or not on camera, but on YouTube. But it was fantastic. But you can find me on Twitter at HamSolo05 Gaming. And then if you want to find my YouTube channel, it's called They Said We Said, but it's spelled in YouTube as PSWS Gaming. You can find me on there doing various reviews for certain things, having a few shows where me and Loke just kind of sit back, video game stream and just talk trash to each other, and kind of like Slow-mo and Gaming Forte seem to be having a good hand on doing right here. Mm-hmm. And then I also do Behind Them Sticks with various individuals all around the world. Not that long ago just last week I had Slow-mo Backslap on. I hope to have Gaming Forte on there in the near future. But as for this week, I had Cozy Beluga and also Horizon Cottontail, and then next week I'm completely off. It's my first week off since I started the show. But after that, we're getting right back into it. I don't have the second episode scheduled, but the first episode when I come back, I believe it's the 1st of March. It will be Miles Dompierre on the show.
That's a
Oh,
So
nice,
that
nice.
one should be pretty fun with the guy from Windows Central. Absolutely. So if you want to learn about the people that you follow, and also learn a little bit about me in the process, come check out the show. But if you're interested in telling your story or, letting people know who you are within social media, definitely hit me up. I am more than happy to talk to all kinds of gamers, because it's not just about Xbox or just about PlayStation or PC. It's about gaming in general for me. So as I said before, thank you guys so much for having me on the show. I hope to be back at some point soon.
Absolutely, man. Really appreciate you. And all of his
Facts.
information is down in the description. So Twitter, YouTube, make sure you check him out, follow him. And if you like the content, sub to the channel over there. For myself, you're already on the channel, Forte, everywhere, YouTube, Twitter, Xbox Live, PlayStation. And I will be streaming Horizon Forbidden West tomorrow after I get off work. So probably around 6, 7 o'clock. And see exactly how we're going to play on with that game. But other than that, enjoy your game tonight, everybody that's playing it. Hope you are enjoying everything else that's going on in your life, and you guys have a great week, and make sure you enjoy your weekend too. See you guys later. Peace.
Peace.